$5,000. Cash payment to anyone who can prove that what lying son of a devil Farrakhan is preaching is consistent with the lessons, supreme wisdom, of Master Fard Muhammad Elijah Muhammad's representation of his teacher Master Fard's teachings.
Assalamu alaikum, sisters and brothers. Well, invest a new microphone, hopefully it'll work. Like that. YouTube is distorting my videos, but keep trying. I don't give up. I may have to stop every now and then to check my voice is coming through. Brothers and sisters, this speaks for itself. I've been out there for years. No one's taken me up on it yet because they can't. That's true. Simple truth. Move on. $5,000. Maybe you can collect $5,000. You're listening. 5,000 for one verse. True that he is who he claims to be. Or Quran.
Believe in the other? What then is the reward of such among you as do this but disgrace in the life of this world, and on the day of resurrection they shall be sent back to the most grievous chastisement. And Allah is not heedless of what you do. 86 These are they who buy the life of this world for the hereafter, so their chastisement shall not be lightened, nor shall they be helped.
Let me repeat that, brothers and sisters.
Do you then believe in a part of the book and disbelieve in the other? What then is the reward of such among you as do this but disgrace in the life of this world, and on the day of resurrection they shall be sent back to the most grievous chastisement? And Allah is not heedless of what you do. 86 These are they who buy the life of this world for the hereafter, so their chastisement shall not be lightened, nor shall they be helped.
Quick sign check here and sound check. Not so bad so far. But these, they do it all the time, brothers and sisters. The issue is, well, the only one that's telling you exactly what time it is myself. What time it is, who's involved, what's the motivations, the outcome. No one else is doing that. Elijah Muhammad gave you a general view. And these clowns here, they know they're lying. They have no idea what they're talking about. And distort the scriptures all the time. The thing is, you say, well, you start asking yourself certain questions. Why are they doing that? First of all, you have to start asking questions to get answers. And no one over there is asking questions. Because it's no way. Well, when you look at it from this objective point of view, there's no way Elijah, it could be tricked by Farrakhan. That's why you have to learn the mathematics. In the mathematics, then you see something that you didn't see in the surface. That's why how people make decisions based on limited knowledge, not mathematics. And even if you make it on mathematics, you have to have comprehensive understanding of the mathematics involved. Because you understand energy deprivation, which you never heard of before, you didn't know that was what we're suffering from. Before you can cure something, you have to know what you're suffering from. You don't know what you're suffering from. You don't know how to connect to the universe. The people that's listening to this, if they're getting any of it, I don't think they understand what they're getting. Because you're not getting anything close as anywhere. It tells you, put you in the level of gods. The universe, well, if you know how the universe works, wow. The one on this planet knows how the universe works. Well, Master Muhammad's not on the planet, is he? No one on this planet knows how the universe works. Except that Suleiman would know. He broke the seals. Suleiman comes from Solomon. He was the wisest man ever lived. That's what they say, I don't know. But the point is that it's profound knowledge. Because now you have a thorough understanding of the universe works. I mean, you have the mathematics, then you can make decisions based on that. You make half-assed decisions, but you make decisions on things that your premise is limited. I told you cats have wings and fly. You make decisions based on that. You make decisions based on limited knowledge. And in many cases, most cases, but therefore your decision is going to be. But once you get this knowledge of Angel, now you can think clearly. Then you can see things you did not see before. But then you can see how they was overtaken by Farrakhan. But they understand the difference between demons and saints, devils, why the devils came into existence. Demons are between the devils and the saints. They don't have as much power as the devils, more power than the saints. Discipline times power, discipline times energy equals power. If you teach the devils, Adam had to be taught discipline. They didn't have it naturally. The devils also, demons also. So without going into a lot of detail, I mentioned this the other day, as a demon. He had no power. Out there with Calypso. Got involved with Elijah Muhammad brought him discipline. And then he had power, and more power than his fellows. That's because greater power becomes lesser power. That's why he was able to take control. It's the mathematics of it. I know you didn't follow, but that's the math. And you say, oh, you didn't know that. You either be with Farrakhan or against me, and you don't know why you're against. Well, how did he get control? You say, because how the hell could he, after Elijah? That's if you studying, you see, you compare him to Elijah's teaching and say, how in the world could they be overcome by that? You cannot see it on that plane. You have to say mathematics. Because much of what I'm saying, like lately, without mathematics, you would not understand. Like, it's happening. I don't get power. Adam has power. They link power to blessings, right? Mr. They connect that with sin. Sinful behavior. And then you ask the question, well, wasn't Adam sinful? He was created. That was his nature. Mr. shed blood. So how the hell did he get power? Because there's no connection to. They tell that's what Farrakhan's telling you. Oh, you got to stop doing this, stop doing that. Won't give you power. Won't give you power. Gotta keep checking my sound. I got this microphone. I don't know how but they work. These folks, they make stuff, boy, and you need a damn computer just to. Intelligent the saints. At any rate, let's move on, brothers and sisters. I have to move on. I can't breastfeed you anymore. And that's what tribulation is all about. Because if you expect to be breastfed, then you will not make it to tribulation. And I know the Levites are not getting this. But it says they will not get it until the four winds blow. Getting it? It won't be real to them until the four winds of fire. Let's move on, brothers and sisters. I'm gonna do some reduxes, basically. Because I said some things the last few days came out garbled as far as I could tell. I looked at my recordings and they seemed fine there, but the ones I put on YouTube's is distorted. I'm constantly monitoring and see if they're distorting. That's the way of minimizing me, but no one wants to listen to something they can't. I'm trying to figure out what is he saying. No, I don't speak that well. I looked at my old presentations and they weren't that bad. Then the latest ones, like, I didn't understand it myself. When I buy a new microphone, if that helps. Got so many microphones now, so that was a wasted gesture, but we'll see. You for fire, leaving part of the book and discipline the other, and they cannot find one verse in the Bible or Quran to justify that crap they're talking about. One. Move on, brothers and sisters. Notice I'm trying to be more deliberate, slowly. Hard for me. Believe me. Walking through fire. But when you talk, people just, when you communicate to other people, that's work. People understand that. It took me a long time to understand that. Because you're not talking to yourself. See, a lot of us talk to other people like we talk to ourselves. People. So you got to talk their language. You got to talk so they can, in a way they can understand what you're talking about. Talk clearly, humbling. So I'm used to talking, talk to people normally, and even after 35 years, I'm still struggling with that one. Let's get to talking. I'm trying to keep all these things in my mind, and next thing I know, I go freeform again. Anybody want this job? Find somebody that could do it. What was that the Jesus prayed for when he was in the garden? He said, can you get it to somebody else? Can you get it to somebody else? Ain't that what he said? Take it out for yourself. I think he said, with crying tears of blood or something. He said, you get it to somebody. I think this is a joke, just a Facebook thing. I do more work now than I did when I had 6, 7, 8 hours a day. Preparation, giving a presentation, then checking, search. And I'm not asking for anything. I'm not doing it to get a reward. I'm doing it because a promise was made to the Levites. That promise is going to be kept. We give our word, we fulfill our word. The word was given, it's passed on to me. I didn't ask for it. Word is given, must. Our word is bond, and bond is life. God Muhammad taught that. Word is bond, and bond is life. You give your life before your word will fail. Farrakhan needs to learn that lesson. He don't know. So that's why I'm not expecting a reward. I only want one. But this is for the sake of Levites, and they don't even appreciate it. They don't. And I can tell you, in fact, they don't appreciate it. When you appreciate something, your actions show that you appreciate it. Take care of it. Don't play with it. You got a car, you really like that car, keep it clean. You don't. Everything is straight. Everything sloppy with and everything else. It shows how you make sure everything is right and correct. Like a woman, right? She goes out. She put up makeup. She makes everything is right and correct. You gonna just make sure you're gonna check everything. Dress is right. Shoes is right. Cares about how she looks. But she don't care how she looks, man. Just drop anything on. People can tell me whatever they want to tell me. Just tell me they don't give a damn. You're doing mathematics. And when we get home, Elijah Muhammad taught that there's no mistakes. You get exactly how you said. No mistakes, excuses, and something else. And law and book says. They don't want to hear any excuses. You get your ass thrown out. Excuses just that. First, make excuses will all be. You just tell my wife, do not teach the children to make excuses. They're failures. Or you make excuses, that means you don't intend to correct it. Move on, brown sister. I've been doing it 35 years. And I make sure I get it right. There's no one standing on my shoulder saying, you get this right. You said that wrong. Did you check this? You check that? You don't see anybody doing that. That came as cold. Nobody taught me this. Nobody stand on my shoulder tell me I had to do it. Nobody stand on my shoulder to check and see if I do it right. I'm not getting paid for it. But that shows I give a damn. I care about the Levites. I'm not concerned whether they care about me or not, because them not caring about me is not the problem. Like, when you're somebody's drowning, a lot of times you can get drowned trying to save them because they wait around here, drown you. Not their fault. They're scared. You just have to be conscious of that and make sure that you don't get drowned with them. That's our people. That's what did so-called Jesus say? Give them because they know not what they do. Because that wasn't their nature. They knew it. They knew it. They would be doing it. Move on. We got a motivator for you. Fire motivates everybody. Everything. Motivates them, burns them up.
I gotta do this. Do you mind? Yes, I'm gonna do something. I don't want to put my brother on the spot. See, this is this. This is something else. Love and faith transcends color. And the reason why we embrace Father Flavor as a brother is because we find him on the battlefield of justice, being a true disciple of Jesus. And the last thing I'll say is you'll never call us racist.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Because this day that we honor
Yes, sir.
Master Fard Muhammad, if you see an image of him, put his image up.
Yes, sir.
That's That's the man whose father was a black man and his mother a Caucasian. And how many of us have a parent that's a Caucasian or grandparent? It's not about color. It's about our submission to the will of God. And in that we find common ground and unity. So I'm only one shade lighter than you. And Mustafa may be 4 more shades lighter. We a family. Let's stay a family, be a family, and love each other as God would have us to love each other. We love you, Father. Happy Savior's Day. I had to do that. We love you. One more time, brother.
Okay, that's why they won't collect that 5,000, because that was a total shit show there. There's nothing to do with Elijah Muhammad. Nothing to do with Master Muhammad. Just one quick reading of the lessons. Master message, black man, how you live. David has arrived. All of America, any of that videos. You know, that's totally blasphemy relative to Elijah Muhammad. He said, ain't they are brothers? No, he said they're devils, they're enemy. They're 100% wicked, not be redeemed. Not be transformed. He said just the opposite. It shows right there. They're liars. Move on, brothers and sisters. Just kissing them. That would never happen under Elijah. He would have been out. He'd been on his ass so fast. No questions asked. And this is something they do not want to talk about. They just gloss over this. I was present. I got my ex Newark, April 25, August 21st, 1970. 21 years old. Exactly 7 years, the day my father passed. He passed August 21st, 1963. And he was processing. One of my relatives was 14 at the time. He was processing his ex. He had a surgery and didn't survive the surgery. 40 years old. So when I got my ex, long story, I was looking for Elijah, and I found out Elijah with Chicago, and Minister James Shabazz tried to talk me out of going to Chicago. I think his statement was, man, there's a undercover or agent or something like that every square inch. Let's do it. Well, they call them agents, but it was the meaning. Talking, I said, no, that's where Elijah, that's where I'm going. Looking for it. I wanted to be, I knew even then, I was a Bible reader. I knew Elijah would not be around the whole journey. I wanted to be there. I wanted to need secondhand information. I wanted to be an eyewitness. I was an eyewitness. 1975. I arrived in September 1970. A month later, after I got my ex, I was in Chicago. Stayed there until January, I think it was February 1984. I witnessed those two destroying everything Elijah Muhammad built, liquidated all the assets, stole all the money. The money was in the name of the believers, worked their ass off. Elijah Muhammad to produce what was produced. They took rid of everything, took the money out, went to court and said that belonged to him. It was family of Elijah Muhammad. That's what Wallace did. Farrakhan was keep his mouth shut. He could have went and challenged it. Get a piece, don't worry about it. That's what he did. Got the money. I got more tapes saying I believe went crazy. Went back to jail. Started selling drugs. They know what to do because they destroyed the Nation of Islam. They got rid of it. There was no Nation of Islam. Started something called Balalians. And Wallace was the leader of it. And Farrakhan was his wingman, minister. It was bad mouthing the messenger. We got Farrakhan saying it. He spoke ill against his father and everything else. And Farrakhan was standing right with him the whole time for years. Years. And never gave any of that money back and never apologized. I lost everything. I was totally immersed in Islam. Bank. Everything. So they can talk all they want. That's what they did. He admitted believers went crazy. Someone went insane. And went homeless and everything. He's supposed to be the sheep, supposed to be the leader, the shepherd, supposed to guard the sheep. No, he didn't. He ran away when the wolves came. Ran for his life and left the sheep there naked. No guys, no protection, anything. He admits it. He says all this was happening and he didn't do a damn thing about it. And then he left and went back to Arizona trying to get back on the stage and shake his ass. That's exactly what he was doing. That's where Kushner found him. He convinced him to come back. But she was scattered, hungry, defenseless. He came back as a buzzard. He didn't come back as a healer. He came as a buzzard to eat the flesh of what he killed. That's that dog right there. He can talk about shit he went to. What? Sue me, Farrakhan. Tell me a lie. Exactly what you did. And that's what you've been doing for the last 4 years. Sucking their blood because you're a goddamn parasite. You're a buzzard. You came back eating the flesh. And you're not representing Elijah Muhammad. If you do, here's your $5,000. Come and get it. Show me where you represent him. Show me. Read one verse in the Quran or Bible that justifies who you claim you are. You can't. So get out of my fucking face, you clowns out there with your bullshit. I told you, I'm not asking you to come here. I ain't asking for any money. Just stay away from me. You're going to meet up with me sooner or later. Soon enough, anyway. Stay away from me. They're out there all over. They're all over the place now. Oh, promote Farrakhan. That's who Farrakhan is. And now he's pissing shit in the bag. Curse with a curse for robbing the nation. I mean, how clear can it be? You go out there now, they're all over the place. Honorable, they're all over the place. Recently, and you don't even know they're out there because he's pissing shit in the bag. He's incoherent. I'm told he's incontinent also. Incontinent. Depends. You know what incontinent is? But he's the Messiah. So who are they kidding over there? Who are they kidding? When it's that clear and they still doing it, you know, if you're going down a one-way street and you see a big old wall in front of you and you step on the brakes, you step on the gas, what does that tell you? What does that tell you? You say, damn, didn't you see that wall there? You stepping on the gas? All the signs of Farrakhan is there for easing him. Ray Charles can see it. All the signs of him is all over the place. So who are these people? You don't need a slide rule. You don't need a PhD. You don't need a GED. You don't need to get through damn kindergarten. If you can read, and it's all over the place. robbing the nation, Malachi. Curse with a curse was a curse. His ass blown up with, was God with him when that happened? His ass, he said, they did it on purpose, or was God protecting him? His ass blown up with radiation pellets. Got all this stuff out. So now he's putting shit in the bag. He wasn't much of a man anyway, so he didn't need it. All that's gone. 55? You tell me that's not a curse? That's what it says. He was robbing the nation. What about that one? What about Aaron? The one that follows Elijah. He did all that dirt. Got all his followers killed. That's clear enough. What about that one? What about he never talks about the messenger of the covenant? It was right there. My Elijah, the last one. Well, it says messenger of the covenant. It's after him. What about going home? The God says we will return home at the. Oh, you don't no, we ain't got going no. It's all over the place. So you say, well, we said walls down there? It's only 50 yards away and you step on the gas? What's going on here? There's no way in the world if you check anything. If you read Messenger of the Black Man, if you read anything, if you looked at the lesson, just look at the lessons. There's no way in the world you would be with him. No way. Impossible. So if you are, then what? Who are you? Where are you? Whatever you are, we don't want you around me. Don't come around me. Maybe just first class idiot. But I think idiot would see that. And when he opened the message, he said Elijah Muhammad said he'd be his worst hypocrite. He even said out of his mouth. How in the hell? This, he is the easiest enemy of the truth of Allah. Easier than the jinn. He's easy to recognize. The Jah, he's easy. Who's the Jah? Who's the Jah? Who's the dragon? Who's it? But him is easy. Because they claim they're here because of Elijah. So once you get that framework, everything else falls into place. Because who comes after Elijah? No good, lying ass Aaron. Does he get people home? No. He dies in the wilderness just like the people that was with him. Passes from Elijah to Joshua, who he never mentioned ever. I never heard him mention the name ever. He's the one, the real Messiah. He claims he's Jesus. There's no way. He deceived you because you want to be deceived or you're just a demon. There's no way. There's no way. That's why when the time comes, those with him, it will suffer the most grievous chastisement because there's nothing they can say. Because they say, ask a couple of questions. Well, is he Aaron? He's Aaron. Okay. Tell me what Aaron did. The Bible's correct. Oh, wait a minute. In the Quran said you had to believe in the Bible? You mean Allah would tell you to believe something's corrupt? And then it says those being part of the book and this being the other. So if the Bible was wrong, then why don't you forget about the Elijah part too? Why don't you drop the whole thing? Because you're going to tell us we got to believe in Farrakhan and Elijah because of the Bible. If he says, you shouldn't be saying that. I want him because he's a fighter or something. But you shouldn't be going to the Bible if you're going to believe in part of the book and just believe in the other. They have no excuse. Their destruction, not be clear fast, will be clear. Move on. I get to I'm trying to get to my main topic that I didn't talk about yesterday. I'm going to reiterate some things I've said this week because some of the things I've talked about this week have to be understood. It has to be understood. Well, it needs to be understood if you want to survive. You'll survive. I need to make sure here. I want you to come back and say, well, I didn't understand what you were saying. It's my responsibility to make sure the make the message clear. Yeah, a clear message. Your responsibility to tell me that, hey, I don't speak that language. Right? Or I understand your language, or I understand you understand that you're not getting you're trying to get the communication, it's not clear enough for you. It's your responsibility. Two-way street. But that's why you ever go to a show or something, it depends on the feedback. That's how you know how well they're doing. I can't tell how you think. I'm going to be talking to you, and I may not realize you don't speak English. Because you're sitting there looking at me, well, I'm assuming that you must understand what I'm saying. So it's a two-way street. I must be clear, and then when you give me feedback, I should make corrections so you can get the message clearly. That's your responsibility. So if you're not getting it because you don't understand the communication. You never said that you didn't understand the communication. That's on you. Of course, we had that situation. That's why he says, a man could find no one to help him. Do it himself. Do things like that. Still struggling to find out. Like I said yesterday, promise was made. It's going to be kept. I don't understand. I still struggling to find out why Dr. Shabbat included the Levites. Like he said, he just want to do it. Looked ahead and said, "Well, I'm going to whoop his ass." But I'm the one that have to deal with that. I don't know how many, but he is a Levite. I'm going to have to deal with that. If it wasn't for that, it was smooth sailing. Time came, him and the elect was taken out of here. Smooth sailing, gone. Because Levites, he's got in 30-some years, trying to wake them up. These bones live. He said it was a crucifixion. And I still, all this, I haven't taken time to really analyze that. Maybe I can, but I still don't know why Shabbat did that. But I'm the one that's carrying the weight for it. But maybe it's to make me stronger. Maybe turn me into from diamond to platinum. Go on, brothers, sisters. Okay, I don't think I'm gonna cover all these. Just some of this. Just redux of what I said this week, but I'm not comfortable with my presentations because I looked at them this week and some really seem garbled. Didn't see it in my videos I got up. I looked out there on YouTube and I said, I couldn't understand what I was saying. What's going on? That shouldn't be the case. And so it's often, I guess. I remember when I back like a year before, I had that problem. I was wondering if that's YouTube's way of drowning out voice. Nobody wants to watch something. They got to try to figure out thing. And the other thing too, my old videos I used to do caption. So if they couldn't understand either way, they could. That was a curious thing because I think when I did last Monday, it was about a week or so ago. And it was kind of, because I can understand, but the caption was loud. And the caption came a little clearly. I'm reading the captions. I'm saying, why is the captions clear? It seemed like the caption should be to reflect the voice. If the voices come user, then the caption should be like, the words should be like not clear. The words was clear. I don't know about this. I'm not going to worry about it right now. Like I said, I'm going to get me another microphone, endeavor to talk fully, clearly. This information, people are going to need this go through tribulation. I'm going to have to deal with that. My tests. Yeah, let's look at this criteria first. And see, this bothers people. It bothers me too, to tell you the truth. Then Jesus said unto his disciples, I should just, the name actually is Joshua, but just so you know that. If any man will come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross and follow me. For whomsoever will save his life shall lose it. Whomsoever will lose his life for my sake shall find it. Now, that's a heavy verse there. And that's a fact. And that's the bottom line. For years, I was reluctant to say it. I used to ask myself, how would I feel if somebody told me that? In this condition we're in. Even under Elijah. Elijah didn't go that far. Do for self. He didn't tell you to just go dismiss all of this. Because he used some of this. We had banks, clothing stores and things. That says you got to go turkey. 100% just this. Man, nobody's going to do that. Plus, like I said, I got to enjoy. I had a mini mansion in Orange, New Jersey. Plenty of dough. Had my own business. A three-story house. And I think I had like 5 bathrooms. Sauna in the basement, pool table, office. A detached garage. The garage was, in other words, a large piece of property. The garage was separate, like a separate building. It had an apartment on top of that. Once I got into the Injil, I used to use that as like a temple. You could come in, and talk to people. First, that's what I was doing. At first, I was trying to be like Elijah, trying to get followers and stuff. That's my first reaction. I'm a rookie. I'm just getting into it. I don't know what's required here. And like it says in Jonah, that stuff went away overnight. Overnight, it was all gone. I didn't realize at the time, but I had to make a choice. I chose Injil, but I didn't know at the time choosing Injil means all that go. And I didn't let go of the Injil. I didn't know that was a choice. Got an Injil, broke the seals, bam, all that stuff that went. The worm came, destroyed it overnight. That's a fact. I'm not going into details. And that's exactly what happened. I'm not exaggerating. I didn't know holding on to the Injil. It had to be one or the other. It got so much energy. Took all my energy to hold on to the Injil. I didn't bat an eye. I don't look back to it. And I said, oh man. Once I realized the math of it, I said, oh. You tell a lot of people that after 40 years of here, now they don't went around here, they say, keep your nose clean, work hard, keep your nose clean. They done all that. They finally got them a job, they got them a degree, worked hard and got them a house. You tell me they got to get rid of all of that, drop all of that? Or something they don't know anything about, they have to have faith in? Come from some nigger that was old man to talking, maybe know what he's talking about. Oh, that wasn't going to happen. Look, that's it. How would I feel if somebody came and told me that? Yeah, I am, man. I got many mansion, man, kids, I got plenty of money, business. Tell me, man, you got to just drop that. Plus, man, I'm fulfilling like how much programs? How can I be wrong? Somebody told me, hey, man, you out of your mind? You kidding me? Would you trying to steal my stuff? Listen here. I wouldn't even preach it for years. In fact, that started recently because we're here. But it took me a while to really appreciate what you have to understand. Energy deprivation, all those things. We're in such a bad shape right now. We gotta say you make $100 a week, man, and you gotta really penny, man. Every penny, man, you gotta stretch it. You can't make no mistakes, man. You got a tight budget. That budget's so tight that the cost of getting to the hereafter, like if you gotta buy a ticket, cost means you gotta sell everything you got here. I forgot. That made me think. There was a thing that says a man, he finds a treasure. I'm paraphrasing. And so he sells everything he get to get that treasure. I should have put that in here. That would have added to this. That's the situation. See, that's another reason why I don't like this. But people first they think, oh man, well you're the one. I'm just telling you how it is. That's why they kill prophets. Prophets, because they don't want to hear that. He just come and try to tell them what to expect. Man, there's a flood coming. New guy, they kill him. He's just telling them what they need to survive calamity. But they don't want to hear it because they're sitting around relaxing and everything. Cool, man. Because they would have to get up off their ass and do something. They don't want to do that. They have to do it based on faith, not knowledge. It's hard. It's hard. I know it's hard. Except when I got the injury, I didn't know that I was going to lose everything I had built. I worked my ass off. I stayed relied like those 5 years. I worked my ass off relied. I was a foreman, Mama Speak newspaper, night foreman. I did my 300 papers a week. I did my security. Worked my ass off. I made lots of sacrifice. And when he departed, I lost everything. It took about a year or two to recover. Went for self. Built me a little empire. Comfortable. Look, I'm American dream, man. I hadn't have a degree, anything like that. Would study computers, start my own business. Plenty of money. I've done it. That's what Elijah, I did it. I had several houses at the time because I was buying and selling real estate. I just had a house, I had other houses. I was doing it. How old was I at that time? This was in 84, 85? Around that area? Was I maybe 36 years old? Yeah, about 36 years old. We're around there. I was a big millionaire before long. Then I got hold of the Injil, and I backed into it. Nobody gave it to me. I backed into it, and I was curious. And then, boom. Right. realized I had, now I got a choice between do for self, like Elijah Muhammad said. That's part of his program. Other one, the duty of the original man, to teach the uncivilized. That was a conflict. Not probably saying that correctly, but that's what it was. And the lesson says the duty of the civilized, I believe that he's uncivilized, something like that. And then I said, oh, my people need this. That's so they tricked me because I was in it before I found out I was in it. I knew I was, I don't know. If I knew that's what I was getting into, if I would never went anywhere near that book. Oh, man. Okay, well, this got to be done. I had no idea. The choice was being made here. I held on to it. Down no man looking around. Overnight, I tell you this story, overnight, everything was gone. You had the Injil, though. I ended up in Florida. Like I said, the Jonah, what word came and destroyed everything he had. He was comfortable in it. And then he went to a place where sun beat down on him. I said, I made a choice, not knowing I was making a choice. This tells you clearly that's a choice you got to make. People are not going to make that choice. They ain't going to make that choice. They ain't going to make it. That's why choice has been made for them. That's why this American dream has to be destroyed. The choice is taken away from them. The choice they have is hereafter, just right death. All is going to be destroyed. Master Muhammad is going to destroy it all. That's to help them. Because they're not going to make that choice. That's why Levites ain't moving now. You can't get them to move. They said they ain't. Can't make that choice. The children, man, I got to feed my family. Ain't going to make that choice? No, they ain't going to make it. Looked at and said, oh, man, you mean I got to tell people to do that? And they ain't going to do it. Remember Jonah got in an argument with the God. You tell me to do stuff, the people ain't going to do that. And you ain't going to do what you saying either. You ain't call them a lie, but you said, you asked me to do a possible thing. If I do it, they ain't going to turn like you said anyway. People are not going to do that. No one has done it. 35 years I've been talking. No one has done it. Even close. They ain't going to do it. They say, yeah, man, you the one. You Jonah. You're here. Whatever. They ain't doing that. They ain't going to do it. And said, the fire hit their ass. Then they did it. Because they had no choice. What they was clinging to was destroyed. They had nothing to cling to. I will lift you up, you clean the earth. Or you're going to take what you clean. Now, if you jump back down, that's on you. But that's the help you're going to get. That's the help you're going to get. Because you ain't going to do that. Like I said, if I knew ahead of the time, knowing me, I don't know. That's a hard one. If I had done that when Elijah departed, he had nothing. That was an easy choice. But it's like, Master says, let me give him a whole lot. Let's see if he can drop dead for this. That might be a trial like that. I'm telling you, I was doing well. And they ain't going to do it, and they got a nice little apartment, maybe a car, job. I had a lot more than that. They had several houses, many mansions, cars, money, own business. I hadn't worked for anybody. My early 30s. No choice between that. And it was a choice that, like I said, so I'm telling you the facts. It was a choice. No, I I don't lie to you, brother and sisters. If it was a choice, I said, is this book okay? Am I sure I'm reading this book right? Even that was a question because I didn't have a transliteral version at the time, and I was having struggling with the book. Am I this book right? I mean, am I reading this right? You see what I'm saying? I would try to find an excuse or something. I know you're not going to do that, but that's what it says you need to do. Criteria. So how you going to do it? You're putting that choice, distraction be taken away from you. Then the choice be clear. Death or life. Then be clear, death or life. See, before you can tell it's death, you have to understand what death is. He said, see, I'm not going to get the whole thing today, bro. I keep trying to explain to people, you got to pay attention to every word they say. How can he tell you you have a choice between death and life? You don't know what death is. What is death? But you can make a choice, you have to know what you make a choice of. That means you have to see death. Choose life. You don't see death. That's why I'm going to see, you can see death. You destroy this reality you're in, you're going to see the death. Then you're going to stay with this. But you're going to have people telling you they can revive the death. Demons are going to tell you we can revive the death. We're going to take America. That's going to be a struggle between us and them. We're trying to we can take America, man. Come on. Just revive this stuff again. This is death. A little more detail here. Understand, brothers and sisters? That's the choice you're going to make. It comes down to what? See how it come together? It comes down to Farrakhan or that's not a covenant. I'm be saying, no, we can revive it. Demons. Choice between Farrakhan, it's a covenant between the law and so-called New Testament. It's just faith or whatever. Remember one, Brown said, I don't know if I made that clear enough. That's the problem right there. That's the situation we're in. They're telling you what you need to do to get out of it. You get mad when you want to. I'm just telling you. They kill prophets for that because and you tell me, man, I got to build some goddamn ark, man. I got to give everything. I tell myself, I don't see no flood, man. It look great here out here, man. What are you talking about? I'm going to give all. What if it don't happen? You're going to give back to me? I worked hard to build this up. I understand that. And I sympathize with you. I agree with you. Just know that's not it. I already went through, I guess that's part of why I had to go through it. So I know for a fact. That's it. I experienced it. The experience is the best teacher. These scars. I didn't like giving that up. I mean, I worked hard to do it. No. I was doing it. He was looking at me, man, was admiring me. Nobody in my family's ever been as successful as that. Here I got this little book. I didn't know what it was. Huh. Break some seals and all. What's this? It's another book in the Bible. It had been presented to me like that. Okay, here you go. See what you got here? You can take that, or you can have this little book. What book? What was that book for? So they had tricked me into it. I had to get into the book, find the book's about. Oh, listen, I ain't happy about it. I told you, I am not happy about it. Got tricked into it. You take me, it was worse. They got me. But I don't think I would have given it a second look. Because, I mean, I got the American dream, man. Healthy. Eat 1 meal a day. Everything's mellow. I had one issue. I ain't going to get into that one. But, well, man, $1 million in my grasp. Now, I wasn't worried about money. I get as much money as I want. Like the house I was living in at the time, I think it was $250,000 house for the house. Mini mansion, $250,000. It was a lot of money at that time. They, when they found, I had to give it up, right? I found that when they actually sold it a couple of years later, they said like $2 million or something like that. Probably values New Jersey. This little book. And you're going to be struggling with this thing for years. And everybody going to listen to you. And you're going to be in Demon Island for 3 years. You're going to be in jail. Really? Why? Nobody's going to do that. Do it. And nobody's done it. You're going to do it. But you got to wait for the fire. Move on, bro. I'm just here to get information. Our kind would never ask you to do that. We know you wouldn't do it. And him would be a lie. The book he give you ain't worth shit anyway. So, because he want to do it so he can steal what you got. Let's talk about this one. This I talked about yesterday. I'm going to go into it in a short version today. Because remember, motivation. I talked about motivation yesterday. I'm going to give you the short version. I have a presentation that goes in detail. I tried talking in detail yesterday. I said, I reviewed it and it wasn't clear. I'll make it clear today. I guess that's part of why I had to go through this. I don't know. As clear as I thought, I did my test. I don't know, but if YouTube is distorting, there's something I can do about it. Anyway, look at the world around you now, and people say, most of our people not paying attention anyway. Everybody got the question, why is America back and forth? Israel. Why is America back? Israel? No. I'm not going into all the details. It's very illuminating. But yeah, if you ask the person, you ask the question. People ask the question. If you get the right answer, then everything falls into place. They got all kinds of answers, but still ask. Of course, you ask more questions. They connect all the dots and say, "Oh, that's what's going on." For some reason, America's back and forth doing that. So when this falsehoods come into being, you have to explain all of this. So I go into detail like I did yesterday. I'm not going to finish the rest of this. It takes a while. And I don't know if I can give you a short version. Connect all the dots. Let's see what I can do. I'm sure I'm not going to get, I'll probably get to another point. Well, let's see if we can connect them. Let's talk about some dots first and let's try to connect them. Let's go back to Elijah Muhammad, for instance, right? Now, before Elijah Muhammad came, we had no vision as a people. We had a mind they gave us, name they gave us, religion they gave us. And when you go into details of that, you say, why they change us? What's wrong with us where we came? There's a lot of questions here. They said, we lazy. Well, you don't go and buy a lazy horse. The horse is strong. And I'm gonna get sidetracked. But we didn't know anything. We had no vision. They had some people come try to give us some sort of vision, like Marcus Garvey and Noble Drew Ali, but we had no vision as a people. They didn't give us a uniting vision. Anyway, let's move on. Elijah came and said something that struck a chord, because this whole reality is based on religion, fake religion called Christianity. Actually, that's a fake because there was no one called Christ. You'd be a Christian if you follow Christ when there was no Christ. Person talking about Joshua, they don't call it so Christianities or whatever. When you talk about Joshua, that's no. Anyway, the bottom line is this whole was shaped for the last 500 years based on Christians. Magog, chapter 20, they came out, Dark Ages. Chapter 20 again is their history, European history. They try to tell you the future. Back you from understand who they are, because if you understand that's their past, that identifies who they are. The devil, one. But Muhammad came with a unifying vision that we're true to Abraham. He had the facts back him up. The evidence. We got the evidence right here. They've done to us and everything else. That was unifying vision. And black folks were unifying under that vision. Now, did that bother white? That was, yes, it did, because it was into war. He was telling black people, you don't remember, he talked to all black people. You don't need to be in that war. You know who we are and we've been through it and so forth and so on. So if he wasn't having a pact, there wouldn't have been no problem. But he was having an effect because it was the truth. And it shook America. How you know it shook America? They sent the FBI after him. Because he was a national security threat. They put him in jail. Now, if he was just somebody there talking, just running his mouth, yeah, and wasn't nobody listening to him, would be the point. In fact, you wouldn't, because you draw attention, you make people aware of him. You know what I'm saying? So you don't say anything, but then you make people aware of him. But why? Because he was having an effect on America. It was having a dramatic effect because they feared him. Now, feared him, that's why they lock him up. We say, wow, how would they fear him? Little man, Georgia, third grade, can't hardly speak. He has not. They feared him, or they wouldn't have locked him up. They asked him, if you stop teaching, we will leave you alone. He said, no. That show you who he like Muhammad is. I think he spent, 3 or 4 years in prison? They understand him. They feared him. So why did they fear him? What was he saying? They feared what he was saying because of the truth. Forget about it was the truth or not. It was motivated. Black folk was given a common vision. And they didn't want that because then come together and that would be devastating for them. Keep that in mind. Okay. Now, during this time, you had a conflict between them and the Jews that went on for 2,000 years. It got so bad that they was in the process of killing. They're going to wipe them off the planet. Our solution, how bad it got. 2,000 years, everybody was on board with it. That's another dot. One dot, they got afraid of Elijah because what he was teaching, which was Abraham. Then the people, they claim that you say Abraham. Remember, how are they connected? Afraid of him because he was saying that he was. They was killing them because they say they were. It was going to eradicate them. Those two dots. There's a connection. There's a relationship between those two. Wiping them out. We're saying we with them, people that you knock, that you kill, and you wiping out. That shows you the attitude they have towards who they consider. See, Abraham. It was them that was eradicating them. Well, they found it was you. And they do the same thing to you because that's what he was doing to them. They were doing it because of that. They was white just like them. Wasn't a race thing. interesting. Now, you want to get rid of the fake, but you think the fake is the real. What happens when the real comes along? You want to get rid of that too, because you thought you was getting rid of the real. You was about to burn. You had this painting. You thought it was real. You want to get rid of it. So you're going to throw it in the fire. Doesn't matter. That's fake, man. Fake, what you mean? Here's the real one. Well, you got even greater attitude towards the real one, because you thought you was burning the real one. Oh, well, then burn this one up, because you want to get rid of it. Definitely want to get rid of the real one. Remember, because people make copies of that, and you'll be back where you was before again. You understand what I'm saying, brothers and sisters? So now, they was in the process of getting rid of them after 2,000 years. They thought they was the one that was seed of Abraham, and they found it was you. We got the wrong ones here. We need to get rid of them. See? Oh, we're getting rid of the wrong ones. But the fakers still holding on to they saying, no, we're the real ones. So you got a dilemma there. Might as well get rid of both of them. But if you get rid of this one, that proves that this one is the real one. If you get rid of the fake one, that proves that the real one is the real one. Because that's the only one left. So until you get ready to get rid of get real ones, you put the fake up so everybody think, hey, that's the real one there. Because you don't want the real ones to know who they are. They're the real ones. But then they want the value for who they are. But right now, they don't know they're the real ones, so they're being auctioned out for a little $10 store. They found that they're the real Mona Lisa. They want the $1 billion. That's way worse. See? But they're saying the false one, they be paying $1 billion for that fake one over there, and it's fake. Now you burn it up. Am I getting through to you, brothers and sisters? So what? But then they say, they stop burning up. Say, we don't want them to realize that's something they worth. They're the real thing. Let's set this one up. After World War II, after Elijah came out of prison, boom, they set false Israel up. They were just killing them, putting them in the fire. Also, no, they're the real ones. How they had to change your heart overnight like that? Change it overnight like that. They start focusing on us. Oh man, we got to get rid of Elijah. Okay. He's getting convinced that they're the real ones. They're valuable. We can't just use them like we want to. We got to pay them now. Or something. They ain't worth for nothing anymore. Can't use them, can't control their wealth anymore. We got to either do that or get rid of them. Now they got false. Now they got to back false. Once they put it up there, they got to back it up. They got to put security around and everything else. Make sure nobody takes that down, because if they do, this one's going to realize they're the true thing. So we got to protect this at all costs. And you understand what I got as a back false is, no matter what it does. Now, what's false is the motivation? These people just got finished trying to wipe us out. They hate us. They killed 6 million of us. They hate us. And the only reason they keep us around now, they want people to think that we're the real thing, because they don't want them to realize they're the real thing. We know they're the real thing too. We get a lot of wealth because people think we're the real thing. There's somebody on what's called this morning to my reason why so-called Jews are so prosperous, everything else, because you tell their children that they're the best people on the planet, that God's chosen, they try to live up to it. That's why you got to be careful of the name you give a child. Sometimes a child will try to live up to that name. You tell an old messed up big name, that's no story. Like my mother, she told, I didn't know this. She passed when I was real young. Some of the relatives was something special about me, Al. So my father named me the most powerful. They wasn't Muslims. My father was converted before he passed, but they wasn't Muslims. But they gave me the most powerful name they could give me. From their knowledge base. So for them, right? Who was the most powerful man in America? Thomas Jefferson. Amy. They named me. I read that name as fast as possible. Once I realized. That's the way we think. That's you name your child. You want to give him. What's the best name you can think of? So if I had been a Muslim, then they gave me something else. That was the best name they could think of. Gave me the best name they knew. Best name black folks knew. Is it George Washington, Thomas Jefferson? The most powerful names in American history. Name me one of them. That's what case situation our people are in. My father, when he changed his name, because he had to run away from home, change identity, he changed his name to Robert Lee. Robert Lee, right? Remember? Robert Lee, the general? Great Confederate general? I think it was, yeah. What do you think? Well, I'm not mad at my people, like I say, because I know they're doing, because that's all they got, they all had to work with. If he's a Muslim, he probably called himself Abdul Muhammad or something. He didn't know anything about no Muslim, anything about no Arabic. So you follow the motivation so far, brothers and sisters? They need to get rid of, they need them to keep us from who we are. And neutralize us or get rid of us. False Israel knows this. They know they only exist and they got to protect them at all costs as long as we exist. Keep us from realizing who we are. Now you understand why they taking all costs? But now they're going to sit there. They know they got a window here. As soon as they figure out what to do with us, then they're going to take care of them. They say, well, we got to put ourselves in position. We can protect, or they can go back. They don't go back to killing us, getting rid of us again. Once they'll no longer need us. So they need to protect themselves. They're over there, then put them over there in the so-called promised land, which is actually, I was supposed to be Arabia, so they don't mention that and all story all together. I'm not going to get to that kind of detail here. So first we got to protect ourselves. They get nuclear weapons. And now we got to be able to. We got military power. We got economic power. It's two things. You already got adopted religion. So now you got military and economics. Okay, so they stole religion. They stole nuclear power, nuclear bombs. Now they need economics. They can take over the Middle East. They got that kind of oil. Now they got protection, economics, and every now they got the protection from devils. Whenever they come back at them again, and they know they have to have that. They have to have that in place, or they get rid of us. For they decide they're gonna handle us. Everything starts falling into place for you now. So they know that's what the devils are doing. Their plan is to eradicate us, neutralize us. They see a time frame, so they know how fast they have to act to achieve what they're trying to achieve before they will achieve what they achieve and get rid of them. So they look around, they see Mr. Trump, he's moving in on us. They're making him move. It was making under Biden too, really, even under Obama. But the point is, he's speeded up. Now they got to move fast, man. They got all kinds of wars and stuff going on in the Middle East, taking this, taking parts of Jordan, taking parts of Lebanon, and the only one can stop them is Iran. If Iran wasn't there, they could take control of the whole Middle East. So now they're trying to get America to take out Iran. America knows Iran can take out Israel. And that's who they was going to use to take out false Israel once they no longer needed us. So now they had a dilemma. We can't take out false Israel. We can't take out Iran. Because we need them to take them out. Because these Arabs, they can't strong enough to take them out. But they're going to war with Iran, and we can't let Iran beat them. If Iran destroys them, then that we're trying that goes our hand, but we need them to keep the niggas under control. The niggas that get a vision. People without vision perish. So they put us in a box here. We got to protect them from Iran, and they're going to attack Iran, so we got to help them. So Iran takes them out. Then niggas find they've trusted Abraham, they come together. There's a seemingly great army, like it says, and then we got a big problem. And so they're over there, and they say, we know they got to back no matter what. So we kill people, we do whatever we want to do over here. They got to back us. They killing genocide, everything, they don't care. Anything they do, say, we don't care. We do anything we need to get what we want. But they got to back us. But they don't, then their whole strategy is lost. Everything they do is lost. Okay? Niggas wake up. Insurrection, they got a big problem on their hands over there. But we can kill, we do whatever we want to do. Genocide, they got to back us. They got to back us. And you understand what's going on, brothers and sisters? They moving. They say, if we go to war with Iran, they got to help us take out Iran. Once they got Iran, whole Middle East is ours. It's all ours. No one can stop us. Once we got the whole Middle East, we got them on their knees. Because Europe will definitely, only way Europe is getting oil is from the Middle East. America can't get to them because first they can't fly in planes. And plus the oil in America, they have it, but it's really difficult oil, hard to get. But we got to move fast because they're moving it on them niggas. The niggas don't know it. If they get them before we get control of this here, they're going to let it rain on us, then we're dead. Iran's not causing them any problems. We need to get rid of Iran. Start making sense to you, brothers and sisters. That's what's going on. That's why they're moving so fast right now. That tells you, since they're moving fast, shows how fast they're moving to take care of us. That's why Trump's in a rush to get rid of us. We have to help them fight Iran. You see how it comes all together? Because he don't want to take out Iran because he wants to use Iran to take them out. And he's pushing. So that's the limit. That's the stuff that may start making sense to you right now. That's why Trump told Iran, don't take out, when they had a war, don't take out Iran, don't take out Israel. We let you, we take off some of the sanctions or whatever, but they don't want false Israel to go out. So they took us out because if false Israel goes out, that means we come together. Well, they saw that was happening on Elijah. Then once Elijah left, they had to keep that going, sent Farrakhan in. You ain't going nowhere. We ain't going nowhere. Devils ain't devils anymore. Scientology. Don't teach discipline. Discipline times energy equals power. He's not teaching discipline. He's showing you the problem. It's here. You got to think. You're the problem. It's on your mind. You understand what's going on here, brothers and sisters? I'm going to leave it there. If You understand that? You understand what's going on? What time frame is and why they motivated, why they moving so fast, why they making sure you don't see it coming. No one's talking about abomination, desolation. It's happening right before your eyes. It's happening like 7. Read that about abomination, desolation. It's clear that that's what that is. Our county says father's the devil. Right there should be closed case. Biology says his father's the devil. He is too. He's a seed. So what's the motivation? I told you what the motivation is. So right now, that's why things are moving so fast. So America's got to say, Trump said, we got to take them out fast. Before they force us to take out Iran. We can't let them, man, take them out. Because then they'll surprise attack on these devils, on these niggas. And then they'll realize and they'll come together. Because we're supposed to come as a snare, but they ain't supposed to see it coming. If we take our false through, they're going to know something up. Then they come together. We don't want that. Read what it says. Let's deal shrewdly with them. If they multiply, the war breaks out. They attack us. They fight with our enemies against us. Then they get out of here. They don't want that. So that was their fear. So now everybody's in a rush. Because the false are trying to get control before they take us out. So therefore they can't, because they know they'll come after them once they take us out. And Trump's trying to move fast. Because so no, they got to take out Iran before they can take control of the Middle East. They attack Iran, America will have to help take out Iran because they can't let false Israel lose, but then we'll wake up. Understand, bro? Says, leave it there. Let's see if I got something else. I'm going to close it. The dilemma. Let's talk about discipline, then I'm going to close. Discipline times energy. I'm going to talk about this in a way I haven't talked about. I mentioned some of it last night. Let's look into it. See here. Energy, vectors. Energy is a vector. Discipline is a vector. Together they produce power. You got discipline, but you have energy. But energy with no discipline, you have to have both. The more of each you got, the bigger it's going to become. That's just vectors. Now, energy is force. It takes force to control energy. Discipline. Discipline to control energy. Energy is there, it's a force. You get control, that's power then. You know around, it's like having money, it's just sitting in the bank. You ain't doing anything, but you gotta take it and do something with it. That's power. You can buy things, you can force things happen. So the bank doesn't happen, it's just sitting there. Eventually doesn't. The point I'm making, I'm getting right to the chase here, brothers and sisters. So I can make this as simple as possible. You get energy, you have to apply discipline to control it. Okay, you got money, you want a cake, you got to take it, do some work, turn that money into a cake. Get some flour, get some sugar, whatever. It's just going to be energy. You don't have control over where the universe contracts and expands. You have no control over that. No one made, no created. It's always going to be that way. We as gods, we have the quality. So we give energy form. Energy form, which power. I'm talking in terms of pressure also, but we're talking in terms of power. Greater power becomes lesser power. So how much power you want depends on how much energy you have, how much discipline you want to apply to it. So discipline is part of our nature. Animals don't have discipline. You force it onto them, like take a dog, you can make him stop doing his business in the house. Let him out in the wild that goes away. You know you're going to whip his ass if you do. You're teaching them. You know, it's a consequence. It's just on its own. Dog's not going to own on his own, just stop. It's business in the house.
That ends against us again. They will have fear.
So the only creature that we made that has discipline is Adam. He's like us, mankind. Speaking beasts. I say he's speaking beast. He can, but he's human, so to speak. It's just been, it's basic. Discipline is part of our nature. Of course, energy deprivation, we had no energy, so we had no power because we had discipline, but no energy, so it was powerless. The devils we made, they had energy because they didn't. Everybody gets the same amount of energy. If everybody gets 1,000 units per energy per day, right? And if you got discipline, the discipline is 10. You apply a 10 to that, then now your power is 1,000 times 10, 10,000. But if you don't have any energy, you have to use all the energy to maintain yourself. Yeah, you discipline maybe 100, but you have no energy, so you have no power. That's the situation we find ourselves in. But the universe expands, there's less energy until we got to the point where we have no energy just to maintain ourselves. Now the energy is contracting, so we get energy approximately every 50 years, which I have a presentation explained in detail and proves it. So now you get energy, but you have to apply discipline to control it. Remember, you got this energy. You got to play attention. Otherwise, your energy's out of control. That means you're out of control. You can't control yourself, but you can control the energy that you permeates you, all over you. That means you're out of control. You can't control your desires, your mouth, or anything. The point is, universe contracting, that means every 50 years you're going to get an energy burst. That means you got that energy, discipline, you go up your discipline, but you get more and more energy. 1,000 years from now, we got tons of energy. Many years from now, but you got to have discipline to keep that energy under control. The energy has to keep increasing. We have it naturally. Instead, at the end, that's why people, well, I don't want to kind of deep out and get to this, brothers and sisters. That's why a lot of people will leave off the earth and go to different planets. From mentions in heaven and earth become of a sudden. Therefore, the most energy is going to be here on earth. A lot of planets will be less the further out you get. Most of them will be here. But because they have less discipline, they know they're going to be able to live here on earth, but they got the energy so much, they don't have enough discipline to control it. That's what we did for the devils. If they had not turned against us, I said this a long time ago, presentation, maybe a few years back. I said we'd have put on another planet. No energy, they could not survive here. This energy that we got, I'm going to explain this in a minute. But now we start getting energy. The universe started contracting in the 1860s. We start being energized. So now we didn't have any, now we start having energy, so now we start getting a little power. The devil's got energy too. But then he get any more discipline. Stop losing control of us. See? Every 50 years, lose more and more control. He lost, in the 20s, lost more control of us. In the 60s, lost more control of us. We wanted civil rights and everything else. You know what I'm saying? But we was getting more energy. We get more power because now we had the discipline. And now we're getting the energy, turning the power. They have little discipline. They got more energy, but they can't control it. They have enough energy to So when the energy was low, but the energy increased, their discipline didn't increase. Therefore, now they lose control of themselves. Transgender, homosexual, lose control of themselves, lose control of nations, having world wars and stuff, lose control. Because you have forms of energy, you can't have the discipline to control it. So now, the earth is 50 years. Remember I told you, 1860s, 1920s, 1860s, 2020s. Now we're about to get another burst of energy. Everyone came suddenly, and all of a sudden you got it. We're going to receive any day now. That's going to give us more power. I'm going to get a city great army. But then it's going to have them uncontrolled, out of control. They ain't going to have no control of it. They're going to totally lose control of themselves. Too much energy. They don't have enough discipline. The discipline didn't increase, but then they got all this energy. It's too much for them to control. They're going to lose total control of themselves. That's when America will be total chaos. They're going to be all fighting each other and everything else. That's why I say no family ties. All other nations will experience some degree themselves. But for us, it turns to power. Those of you that turn to life, out of discipline, you have it naturally, you got to turn on. Because you got muscle, I don't mean you have to use them. I mean, that don't mean they're going to develop themselves. That's what Suleiman's job is. He give you those 5 pillars, teach you discipline, tell you, hey, you can choose Farrakhan, which is no discipline, or you can choose Mr. Covenant, discipline. Or if it's Farrakhan, you're going to be just like going along with the demons. They don't have power, not as much as us. They have more in their, because they have some out of nature, they can have more discipline, so they'll be united. Loosely united, not as united as us. But more united than the devil's daddies, because they got some of us in them, they're going to have some discipline. The devil's discipline probably broke down. So they're going to be able to take this country. They're going to go to war, and they're going to take the country. They're going to be able to defeat us. They're going to take this country. It'll be destroyed in the end. It's going to be a pure victory. I'm trying to get you to understand what's going on here, brothers and sisters. As we move into the future, we get more and more energy. Some have to move to leave the planet because it's just too much energy on the planet Earth. And some have to move further. The further out you move, the less energy is. That's the only way they can be able to survive, because they can't survive. There's too much energy here for them. They don't have that much discipline. It says only one must have enough discipline to go all the way to the end. All the way to the end. As time goes on, discipline. As time goes on, you get more and more energy. It means you got to apply more and more discipline. What form does that take? Explain to you out in hell, that was in hell, we have just as much energy as we have. We don't have a discipline. That's why the person you call Jesus in the Bible says, the worm will never die. That means their sexual desires cannot be satisfied. They constantly want sexual desire. Men and female, they be totally hot all the time. What do they call that? Animals, they call them, they're in heat. Constant, 24/7. Can't be satisfied. They got all, they fired up. They're totally healthy. It says they're so healthy that fire burn their skin can't heal. They got all this energy. They want to eat all the time. All they got to eat is shit. But we don't give them any food. They want to drink all the time. They can't control their desires. They can't control. That's hell. You know, they had a commercial said, what is my commercial Viagra? He said, so good, right? And, you get erection, right away, right? But if you get one of the last 4 hours, run to the doctor. I said, that's the selling point. The selling point. No, it ain't. But that's after 4 hours, man. That's the selling point. He said, no, you go to the doctor. You understand what I'm saying? That's hell. They have a lot of energy, and they get more energy. They have all this energy and they can't control it. They can't control themselves. They're the wild beasts. So we're going to have two categories of people. Those that make it and those that chose death. They didn't choose life, discipline. They chose too late. They couldn't keep up. So now they walk around. You ever been to the zoo? See some of the chimpanzees? They're masturbating. Everything else constantly like they don't have control of themselves. That's why I said every shame in the problem. Because you look at them, they're around like little animals. They eat all the time. They eat constantly eating. They stopping. You see some people right now eating chewing gum all the time. Like they always got to be eating. That's that case right now. They got to be chewing, doing something, talking something, eating something, always doing something. But they don't have control of themselves. And when this gets an energy burst right now, they lose total control. So there are people that choose death. If they get home, they're going to be like that. All they want to do is have sex all the time. All they want to do is eat all the time. All they do is want to talk all the time. That's why everlasting shame and appalling. Everybody around them, man, look at it. Get away from me. I make it clear enough for you now, brothers and sisters. That's just the way it is. I'm just telling you how it is. A lot of things we can just lay back in heaven. No, the universe is constantly changing. You get more energy. Now you got to use discipline to control it. Otherwise, it controls you. So as you go along, at some point in time, maybe some of us, 10,000 years from now, a million years from now, because you keep reading ourselves. You reach the end of how much discipline. So now at some point you lose control because you just can't discipline, keep getting more energy and it can't go any further. But how did Elijah Muhammad explain that? I don't know if Master Muhammad is talking to Master, whatever. But he says, scientists live as long as they want to live. They decide to live. They live a life they know has an end to it. That's what he said. That's what it is. Now you live a life you have into it because now you eating all the time, time and everything else. Lost control. Your body can't take it. You can't discipline your body. And those that can discipline, oh yeah, you can have all the energy. So look at it this way. Any of you ever been on a fast? Eat every day, right? Well, say, for instance, you're going to a week fast. And you eat anything for a whole week. Then you ate that steak. Don't that steak taste a whole lot better? It tastes like 7 times better than it did when you was eating every day. Notice that? But you discipline, you still ate it. But look, see now, same thing. So you can have all that desire and everything else, but you got discipline. So when you do a relationship, man, it's like off the page, man. Oh, they're like, I'm Jupiter. Bam. Ooh. At some point in the future where it's just too much. You just can't. The discipline to be required. We have to have 1,000,000 years from now. We look like little monkeys now. It's not nature. We know we have it because someone goes all the way to the end. How much discipline that is? What is that? Eating 1 meal a year or so? I don't know. I have no idea. That would take for me to take. I thought about it. I said, what kind of discipline would you? What are you talking about? Eat 1 meal a year? Is that possible? I don't know. I don't know what it'd be like. I know I'm just dealing with what's going on right now. The discipline would be, because you have so much energy. You had to control it. Otherwise, you lose control of yourself. I'm going to leave it there, brother and sister. That's what's about to happen to these devils. They won't get energy. They don't have discipline. We're not going to teach them discipline. And the same thing with demons. Only things they got enough discipline, unite. If they wouldn't know 50 years, they would blow up too, but they're going to take this country. They're going to take it. They're going to own it. You start a man Samson. then they're going to be destroyed in the end. When the show rolls in. I don't know if that makes sense to you or not, brothers and sisters. It's just the way it is. That's the mathematics of it. I don't like it. That's just the mathematics. I'm here to tell you the mathematics. I didn't choose to be this way. That's the way it is. That's the way the universe works. You can take it and try to apply it, stand it, leave it alone. I'm just telling you how it works. Okay, I'm going to leave it there, but I'm not getting any other stuff. Like I said, not get into this. Like, not really haven't addressed everything I wanted to say about 2 things I talked about. Perhaps tomorrow, or still got to do views, distortion, blood. This is the one I've been beginning of the week. This is what I was really going to talk about. This is what I'm trying to get to. Hopefully, yeah, I probably start with this one. Yeah, a little taste with this, like. Bloodbath over the world. What about to take place? The bloodbath was Sunni, and it could be a religious war, a race war. This war here is Shia, Sunni, race war between Iran, Israel. How much war? It take place over there. I mean, Gog Magog, and they in there for the oil. Economics war, race war, economics war, race war. The other one I said, religious war. What's happening over there? Come in here. That's what's going to happen as war resumes. Leave it there, brother and sister. Peace. Mm-hmm. Mm. Assalamu alaikum, boss.
We have a lot of that going on, so we're taking care of our farmers. We can't let our farmers not have anybody, these people, you can't replace them very easily. People that live in the inner city are not doing that work. They're just not doing that work. And they've tried, we've tried, everybody tried. They don't do it. These people do it naturally. I said, what happens if they get it to a farmer the other day? What happens if they get a bad back? He said, they don't get a bad back, sir, because if they get a bad back, they die. I said, that's interesting, isn't it?
Well, you heard that. Donald Trump is a believer in eugenics. He believes that white people are the superior race. And inner city is code for black people. And he believes black people cannot now work on the farms. I guess they're not good enough for that. So Hispanic people can do it because they have the backs for it. This is what this man is saying out loud in interviews. He is a racist. It's been proven time and time again. The man had Mein Kampf on his bedside table that he would read at night. Enough to let you know where he stands on that. Just more outrageous, racist things from Donald Trump. They want to arrest those who can do the farm work well until their backs give out. And then he'll probably ship them to El Salvador or some other country. Just more vile statements from the president and let you know where he stands.
When they were arresting people for praying outside of abortion clinics. I mean, I do think the UK, and I say this as, someone who is half English, I think it's like reached, or it is quickly reaching a point where democratic reforms are going to be pretty tough because of the demographic change. And that, of course, the point of importing all these people is to overwhelm the people who live there who disapprove of the program. So you don't have to care what they think because you just bring in new people, and their will becomes like all that matters. And so I don't think you're going to fix these things through elections at some point, probably pretty soon. And I just worry a place like the UK, Canada is another, a bunch of different countries in the West are at the point where they're literally revolutionary. They are poised for revolution. And as someone who really doesn't support revolution and hates violence and hates civil war above all, I'm worried about that. I mean, I don't see how this is fixed. Starmer, who's, he's just an instrument of larger forces, but he's a poisonous character, obviously, who's really hurt your country. He's in there for 4 more years. And so you wonder, people are going to start to get really radical in a scary way. I think this is going to happen. And the people in charge don't seem to care.
Well, you're already seeing it. You are seeing the anger beginning to manifest itself. And I completely understand the anger. I don't, like you, I abhor any form of violence. But I do understand the anger when you have, Keir Starmer campaign. I'm going to smash the gangs that allow these little boats to come over the channel, delivering tens of thousands of people illegally into the country. And they then get put into these so-called asylum hotels where they're given a pretty good lifestyle. Certainly a far better lifestyle than many people really struggling at the moment in the UK. And of course, far from smashing the gangs, it turned out yesterday that he's smashing new records for the number of people coming in illegally on the boats. It's out of control. And the British public are reaching a point of saying, we are done with people coming in illegally and being treated better in a more comfortable and more luxurious manner than we treat our own people.
Well, the whole point is to humiliate and degrade the indigenous population of the British Isles, the white population. I mean, that's the whole point. And are they really going to do something about it? What would that be exactly?
I'm reaching a point of saying we are done with people coming in illegally and being treated better in a more comfortable and more luxurious manner than we treat our own people.
Well, the whole point is to humiliate and degrade the indigenous population of the British Isles, the white population. I mean, that's the whole point. And are they really going to do something about it? What would that be exactly? You'd really have to force a lot of people to go back to their countries of origin, millions of people, and you need to do it really soon. And are they actually willing to do that? I don't know, but these are existential questions that we have been browbeat into ignoring for decades. But the question is, like, is Ireland Ireland? If it's majority non-Irish, oh, shut up, they're Irish. No, they're actually not Irish. Same with the UK, same with England, Scotland, Wales. Like, it's all changing so fast. Nothing like this has ever happened in all of history, except when, say, the Mongols swept across the steppe and raped everybody. Like, that was true demographic change on this scale. But even that wasn't as profound as what we're seeing in every white country around the world. I would say the West, but Australia and New Zealand also. So, like, what is that? Now, my brain is not big enough to understand what that is. I have a lot of theories about it, but I don't know if they're true. All I know is what the numbers are, and that's real, and no one feels that he can say it. Everyone's like, oh, well, if that were happening in China or India or Malaysia or Senegal, it doesn't matter. You'd be like, what the hell is that? Like, the population's totally different. Look at graduation. Pick, I don't know, King's College Law School, and look at the graduation picture for the last 30 years. Who's in it? Just, like, let your eyes tell you the truth for once. Like, this is a total change in population. Is it better? Is it worse? Can't have that conversation. Who's pushing this? Does the population want it? The population clearly doesn't want it. There's no polling that's meaningful on the subject. I mean, there's no referendum on it. You don't get to decide. You've got no voice in it, other than you get to go to jail if you complain loudly enough about it. What is this? I think it's the biggest and darkest thing that has happened in the last 1,000 years, for sure. And I think it's leading somewhere really, really bad. It's not happening by accident, that's obvious, because it's only happening in white countries.
I mean, I think that...
Oh, shut up, white supremacist. In fact, I'm not a white supremacist. Well, I'm just noticing what the hell's going on.
I think most people I've spoken to about this in the UK, most people have always viewed the UK to be a very tolerant, multicultural, cosmopolitan place to live. That's why so many people want to come here. And people have no problem with that. And it's been very successful for a long period of time.
But it's multicultural? What does that mean?
We have a lot of different people from different countries, different cultures, and it's always worked historically.
So is Sharia law in a multicultural country? Is Sharia law? What does that mean?
We have a lot of different people from different countries, different cultures, and it's always worked historically.
So is Sharia law in a multicultural country? Is Sharia law every bit as valid as English common?
No, people don't want Sharia law here. No.
A lot of people do. Wait, hold on. I don't know what you mean. Multiculturalism itself is the lie designed to subvert a society. No, a society has a culture. You can argue about what it is or ought to be. It's not necessarily the same as race. It's connected to race, but it's not the same. People from different races can buy into your culture. That was kind of the beauty of the West. But a multicultural society is not sustainable. There's no
your society is
one
about
culture will dominate.
Hang on, surely the United States of America, given the very way it was created, is the epitome of a multicultural society. And my point I was going to make to it,
it's absolutely not. No. It's a multiracial society.
Yeah.
Though it was not actually a multiracial society up until pretty recent. It's just like 90% white for most of its existence, but whatever. But you did have different peoples, you had different religions. That was all totally fine, but there was one culture, it's American culture. There's no such thing as a multicultural society. It's not sustainable. One culture will overwhelm the other. Again, it's not the same as race. It's not identical to race. It's connected, but it's not the same. But multiculturalism is by definition insane. No, it's never happened. It never will happen. One culture will predominate. It will impose its values on everybody else. I mean, the gay thing, which was not a thing 40 years ago, gay was a slur, all of a sudden becomes multicultural there. There's one culture, and it's required. And that's true in every society, because a culture is a commonly agreed upon set of values, which in their firmest form are called laws.
But those values can evolve.
It's true everywhere.
Those values can evolve.
Of course they evolve, but there's only one set of them. It's not multicultural. There's one set. You don't have one God in every society. Sorry.
Your country's values were established by the United States Constitution, and that's had, 26, 27 amendments? Right, so your own values, as determined by the founding fathers, they have evolved and been changed to accommodate changing time.
There's no doubt. Look, I'm not even arguing against change. That's natural. It's natural that people's views evolve.
So the culture changes.
When you're rejecting the laws of nature, then you're doomed. But let me just say, no, of course, societies change. I get it. All
I'm saying, I'm making a very discrete, specific point, which is multiculturalism as an idea is laughably stupid. It has never worked. We never had it anywhere, and it never will exist because it's contrary to human nature. One culture, one way of looking at things, one worldview will predominate, and it will punish all who deviate from it. That is the nature of societies. So if you're telling me it's
determined by the founding fathers, they have evolved and been changed to accommodate changing time.
There's no doubt. Look, I'm not even arguing against change. That's natural. It's natural that people's views evolve.
So values can evolve.
There's one culture, and it's required. And that's true in every society because a culture is a commonly agreed upon set of values, which in their firmest form are called laws.
But those values can evolve.
This is true everywhere.
But those values can evolve.
Of course they evolve, but there's only one set of them. It's not multicultural. There's one set. You worship one God in every society. Sorry.
But your country's values were established by the United States Constitution, and that's had, what is it, 26, 27 amendments? Right, so your own values, as determined by the founding fathers, they have evolved and been changed to accommodate changing time.
There's no doubt. Look, I'm not even arguing against change. Natural that people's views evolve.
So the culture changes.
When you're rejecting the laws of nature, then you're doomed. But let me just say, no, of course, societies change. I get it. All I'm saying, I'm making a very discrete, specific point, which is multiculturalism as an idea is laughably stupid. It has never worked. We never had it anywhere, and it never will exist because it's contrary to human nature. One culture, one way of looking at things, one worldview will predominate, and it will punish all who deviate from it. That is the nature of societies. So if you're telling me it's multicultural, we can all live and have radically different values, that's just not true. It's never been true. It never will be true. So you're having one culture, one worldview predominate over another and dominate and suppress all dissent. That's just what it is.
I would point to the United States of America and the United Kingdom as two shining examples, albeit not completely without their flaws, the shining examples of places that are deemed by the rest of certainly feel that about my country.
Well, I certainly think that inherent in Christianity is the notion of tolerance, and that draws from a core Christian concept, which is free will. You cannot force someone to convert. There's never been conversion by the sword in Christianity. People decide to believe in it. And so that is central to the religion, therefore it's been central to the society. Western civilization is Christian civilization, and so we call that tolerance. It's a respect for your inherent God-given right to make a choice about what you believe. Okay, so of course, that's always been a feature. My only point is, a society has a commonly agreed upon set of beliefs, rules, and laws that are the definition of the society itself. That's what society is. So you can't have competing. You can't have, gay world and Sharia world living co-equally in a society. That does not happen. It will never happen. So you have to pick one. Are we the Sharia society? Are we the party time gay rights society? Which one? And you can't face that reality, so you're just sort of snoozing along until the inevitable point where you can wake up and be like, my values have no bearing on what our society is anymore, because we've been invaded by other people with a totally different worldview, and they're now in charge. And that day is coming very soon for your country, and maybe it'll improve it. I don't think the UK could be a lot worse than it already is. It's this kind of disgusting, sad, self-hating, suicidal island that was once great. It kills me to see it as a half English person, but that day is coming. It will change. You will either decide to be Western or Eastern. That's a choice that we're all going to face. I don't want to face that choice, but it's being foisted upon us by the architect. That's a choice that we're all going to face. Suicidal island that was once great. It kills me to see it as a half English. That day is coming. It will change. You will either decide to be Western or Eastern. That's a choice that we're all going to face. I don't want to face that choice, but it's being foisted upon us by the architects of mass migration. Sorry.
I would question your characterization of my country as a sad, disgusting, suicidal nation. I feel none of those things. I feel very happy to be in the United Kingdom, and I feel that there are lots of very happy.
Our system, the Western system, which is very distinct from the Eastern system, very distinct, and it's distinct on this one precise point, we believe, and have always believed since this country was founded, since your country became, not a pure monarchy, but even when it was a pure monarchy, the belief in the West, because of Christianity, was the worst thing you can do is punish the innocent. That's the worst thing you can do. That's worse than not punishing the guilty. And we often said that to each other. We no longer say that because there is a pretty concerted effort to blur the meaning of these terms. But I'm not going to be deterred from defining words precisely. Terror is murdering people, killing people, punishing people who committed no crime. Period.
So when the Israeli government says it has repeatedly that even though over 20,000 completely innocent children are believed to have died in their response to what Hamas did on October the 7th at the hands of the IDF, there are many on the pro-Palestinian side who say that Israel is behaving like terrorists too in the way that they have gone about conducting this war. Would you go as far as to say that?
One of the things that I really object to now is this relentless focus on Israel, which, by the way, is a foreign country that I have nothing to do with.
We've done this before. Now, maybe today things are different, and we will end up living in a nation that is sharply divided and may ultimately produce something else. But I'm an American. I love my country. I want to see it stay together. I'm interested in social cohesion, which means that I think our laws, customs, and culture have to be dominant. We can accept some diversity on the edges, but not fundamental division. I think we're in a state of fundamental division. So when I bring up Sharia law, I've sat in many discussions with many people that said, well, I don't care what people look like, but I do care about Sharia law, and I don't want that practiced anywhere near my family or in my country. And that's something you should be aware of. So the notion that someone can come here and say, well, that's part of my religion, and we're going to abide by Sharia law, they're going to find serious resistance and opposition in the country. That's It's because it matters. It's this thing we call societal cohesion. Nations do not exist on their own. They have a core population. Our core population from the very beginning was always at least 80% European and Christian, and about 15 to 20% African. But when you start bringing in huge numbers, millions, who are fundamentally different from the core population, you are going to get violence, anger, and conflict. How many times have you heard people say, if you bring people in from the developing world, what do you get? The developing world. And now we've got that. You can't bring in hundreds of thousands of people from Somalia, plant them, of all places, in Minnesota, and then be shocked that, no, they're not Americans. They're not really interested in being Americans. They're foreigners living on American soil. Nobody wants to say that publicly. If you do, oh, well, you're a racist. Well, you know, the world is full of racists. The real war that's going to decide our fate is not going to be fought anywhere overseas. It's going to be fought right here inside the United States. Are we going to survive as a republic, as an English-speaking republic that rests on the foundations of Western civilization? Or are we going to become something else?
One point that is
The Constitution was completed in 1789. I think we had 5 million people living in the 13 British colonies. We were 90% white, that is excluding the Africans that were in the country who had been brought here as slaves. But we were 90% white. We were 90% Protestant. And this may be hard for you to believe, but the people that wrote that were trying to protect all of the Protestant sects from a state church on the model of the Church of England and the Roman Catholic Church. That's one of the reasons it was almost 100 years or more after that before people began to finally accept Catholicism as a religion, because it was viewed as political power. My point to you is the Constitution is outdated. The way we are governed is outdated. It has to be re-examined. Nobody in 1789 imagined that anybody would come to the United States except another lunatic, religious fanatical Protestant who hated the Church of England. That's what people feared. That's what they thought of. The Constitution that we have does many good things, but I would argue that the Bill of Rights is ultimately more important. The Bill of Rights is vital and essential, and that needs to be defended. But the Constitution and the way we govern and the things that we're doing, it's out of date. It doesn't fit our needs. And that's back to my comment on something given has no value. You have to earn it. And we haven't made anybody earn their place in this country. I'm talking about people like me that have been here forever. My first ancestor stepped off the boat in 1681. So we've got to get back to some notion of national service, because national service promotes national integration. It addresses some of these problems that you're discussing. Now, I know that you may not want to conform and may not want to be as I am, but I'm an American and nobody questions that. Nobody ever will. If you don't want to stand out and be questioned, then I suggest that you change your appearance, because I don't think it's life or death for you to wear what you wear.
I think this conversation.
It's not fun, because it's leading to violence that could have otherwise been avoided. You see, every great nation, every large nation can always accept some number of people into its ranks that are different from them. It's always been the case. But if you suddenly import millions, which is what's happened here and happened in Europe, then you threaten the core gene pool. What I'm trying to tell you is there's a problem. And we can all think that there isn't, and you can insist there isn't, but that's the view. And I think it's incumbent upon all of us to address it truthfully and openly. Stop pretending it's not a problem. It's a problem.
I mean, what's also a problem is white supremacy, and that's.
No, because you're saying you're different, you're going to remain different, and you don't think that if that's not compatible with being an American, then the hell with it. That's what you're going to do.
Well, then what do you make then of, white American people who convert, let's say, to Islam and choose to cover? Are they not American anymore?
Listen, if they want to do that, that's obviously their business. I don't know how many are out there that do that. I think again, it's ill-advised. I think you have to hold the society together. There has to be an agreement on certain things, customs, culture, way of life. And unfortunately, if you're going to practice rigidly a brand of Islam that demands certain things, and this is why I asked right off the bat, do you support Sharia law?
I'm a Muslim. What being a Muslim means is I follow the guidelines of my religion, which is a peaceful.
Does your religion dictate to you Sharia law?
My religion dictates to me to be a good human being, to be good to my neighbors,
that the most powerful force in today's Republican Party is represented by what Charlie Kirk said. It is this drive to make America a white Christian nation. I got to tell you, this is what they say privately. This is not what they say publicly. This is what Charlie Kirk said publicly.
And Joe, again, one of the reasons I wanted to have you on, because you know these people very, very well. You said it yourself. You were one of the strongest voices. You were one of the folks who understood the incendiary language when you were in Congress, when you had your radio show, and how people loved when you did it. And then when you chose to apologize for that and turn away from it, oh my God, they literally have just tried to destroy you because of that.
Yeah, again, you know the deal, Roland, right? I came out publicly against Trump 7 years. For 7 years, I put up with death threats on a regular basis. Nobody is welcome in that party unless you bow down to what this force is, this MAGA force. And again, look, there have been some people on the left who've celebrated Charlie Kirk's murder. Shame on them, be better people, but this is much worse, Roland, what my former friends are doing on the right, because they are turning this into a holy war. When you say we declare war on the left because of what some 22-year-old young guy did in Utah, and then you declare war on the whole left, that's a lot worse than celebrating Charlie Kirk's murder, because that's dishonest, but that's also inciting hate and violence. And Roland, look, Trump's an idiot. So yeah, Trump says the left, the problem in the country is the left. J.D. Vance is not an idiot. What did J.D. Vance say today, right? He was subbing for Charlie Kirk on his radio show, and he spent the entire show going after the left, going after them, them. Man, Democrats need to wake up, Roland. This is a really serious deal by my former colleagues. The stuff that I hear privately from them right now, Roland, for the last 5 days, they want to go to war. This is a holy war.
Oh, it absolutely is. And what really jumps out at me on this very thing here, Joe, and I've been saying this, I played the speech 2 weeks ago that mainstream media just ignored, of Missouri Senator Eric Schmidt, who gave a speech at NatCon, Peter Thiel's group, where he literally gave a white nationalist speech, where he said our ancestors fought for this country to be ours and no one else. He was talking about white people. He was basically saying, if you are Black, Latino, Asian American, or even Native American, America is not for you. And folks just ignored it. And so people need to understand, again, what they're saying, why they're saying it. And yes, there are many evangelicals, any very conservative white Christians who are pushing this as well. And you nailed it. They want a holy war. They want a race war. They want this to be a white country. It is clear as day.
And Roland, really important point, Charlie Kirk at only 31, the impact he had because he was one of the most successful pushers of this white Christian nationalistic idea. And so I think that's why all of his defenders are out there so strenuously denying he said anything divisive, because they know if you really go through Charlie Kirk's public record, everything he said about people of color and Black women and Muslims and gays and transgenders, if people took the time to go through all of that, and that was put out for average people to see, they'd be blown away by it. That's why his defenders are like supercharged right now. They don't want that record to be seen.
Today, you mentioned, and I mentioned as well, Vice President J.D. Vance sitting in to do his show. And listen to this man just blatantly lie, Joe. Play it.
I read a story in The Nation magazine about my dear friend Charlie Kirk. Now, The Nation isn't a fringe blog. It's a well-funded, well-respected magazine whose publishing history goes back to the American Civil War. George Soros' Open Society Foundation funds this magazine, as does the Ford Foundation and many other wealthy titans of the American progressive movement. The writer accuses Charlie of saying, and I quote, "Black women do not have brain processing power to be taken seriously." But if you go and watch the clip, the very clip she links to, you realize he never said anything like that. He never uttered those words. He made an argument against affirmative action as a policy. He criticized a specific Supreme Court justice as an individual. He never said anything about black women as a group. He made an argument for judging people of all races and backgrounds by their own individual merits.
Bullshit. Okay, Joe, this is actually what he said.
No, Roland, that's utter bullshit.
In fact, you know, if we would have said 3 weeks ago, Blake, if we would have said that Joy Reid and Michelle Obama and Sheila Jackson Lee and Ketanji Brown Jackson were affirmative action picks, we would have been called racist. But now they're coming out and they're saying it for us. They're coming out and they're saying, I'm only here because of affirmative action. Yeah, we know. You do not have the brain processing power to otherwise be taken really seriously. You had to go steal a white person's slot to go be taken somewhat seriously. Play cut 52.
But I rise today as a clear recipient of affirmative action, and particularly in higher education. I may have been admitted on affirmative action, both in terms of being a woman and a woman of color.
All right, Joe, he literally said it. Not only that, Vance lied. Soros does not fund the nation. So he sat there and flat out lied.
And Roland, remind me, what's J.D. Vance's job? He's the vice president, and yet he had time today to do a radio show for a former right-wing podcaster. I mean, look what they're not even, Roland, they're not even subtle about it, what this White House is doing. They believe, man, the path to victory is fear, hate, and division. And that's what they're putting out there. That was Charlie Kirk literally going after 4 accomplished black women by saying they didn't have the brain power to get where they got. This is what he believed. And this is what MAGA believes. And that, again, Roland, broken record, that's why Charlie Kirk was so damn successful. Why he had such a big audience.
Yeah, and not only that, you take Nick Fuentes, who's to the right of Charlie Kirk. The night of or the day after Kirk was shot and killed, Fuentes had 200,000 people watching him live. And so what you have this fervor. And so when I listen to Trump and Vance and all these people talk about, how the left, they're indoctrinating. No, and you know this very well, the indoctrination. We've had people who formerly were with Turning Point USA put out videos talking about how it was really this cult-like figure, this messianic figure that they sort of set Kirk up as, and how they want them to follow that. And so that's what's going on here. These people are not trying to have open dialogue. And not only that, Joe, you take Trump, okay? Trump was very clear in saying he was not going to call Governor Tim Walz after those 4 folks were shot in Minnesota. 2 were killed, including former Speaker of the House and her husband. Now today he's saying, he never even heard of Melissa Hortman, and if the governor had asked him, he would have, of course, lowered the flags to have staff. I'm sorry, he's also lying. He knew about her. He knew about the shooting, but he was so arrogant that he said, 2 Democrats, a Democrat Speaker of the House, shot and killed. Yeah, I don't care, but lower the flags to have staff with Charlie Kirk. Flies body on Air Force 2. Do a memorial service at the Kennedy Center. Do another one at the Arizona Cardinal Stadium. Give him the Medal of Freedom. And I'm telling you, they're going to give him a state funeral. That's what you're seeing right now And then you got Peter Hegseth going after members of the military who said anything negative in the aftermath of his death. You've got Kirk supporters creating a database of people of every social media post, and then even Van saying in the podcast, you call their employer. So the so-called free speech people all of a sudden are saying, if you say anything negative about Charlie Kirk after what took place last week, we're going to come after you, come after your job. Oh, I thought they hated cancel culture, Joe.
Yeah. Roland, I remember back in my right-wing radio days, I would come on every day, and there was always some story about some leftist group on a college campus that couldn't handle speech that made them uncomfortable
to say.
Roland, this is scary, and you and I are old enough, man, to remember huge figures in American history who were gunned down, struck down, military leaders, civil rights leaders. We are treating this 31-year-old podcaster, MAGA influencer, like he's Jesus Christ. So I come from the right. Why are my old colleagues and friends on the right doing this, Roland? Because the right wants a religious war. Let's just call it. They want a civil war. They want a holy war. That's why they're putting him up to be some Jesus-like martyr.
Absolutely. I mean, Glenn Beck literally came out and said he was a civil rights leader. Oh my God, stop it. Stop it. I've seen people say, I've seen a lot of these videos, I'm leaving my church because my pastor did not mention him. This was a Christian warrior. And let's just be clear. You said it, white Christian nationalists. It's slaveholder religion. We heard a lot of this stuff during slavery, during Jim Crow, things along those lines. And this whole idea about, it was about debate. It was about, exchange of ideas. I mean, come on, let's just stop it. And so we see what's going on here. We see the games that are being played. And then what gets me, Joe, is this whole deal of, oh my God, the left, how they indoctrinated him and the accused killer going to a university. The dude was at a university for one semester, Joe. You're trying to tell me that one semester at a mostly white institution in Mormon, Utah, which is not a liberal bastion, somehow just radicalize him? I mean, it really is showing folks the hand they're trying to play.
Yeah, and I think even on top of that, Roland, I think it was like some technical school. So it wasn't some crazy liberal arts school for a semester. Look, cut through all the BS. The Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, has publicly said that America should be a white Christian country. This is what animates my former party. Roland, you know me, right? Tea Party Hellraiser. I don't come from the left. I left the Republican Party when the Republican Party became MAGA. And my fellow Democrats and folks on the left need to understand, now these people are on the right. Now this is MAGA. MAGA now are the snowflakes. MAGA, Roland, they now need their safe spaces. It's funny, but it's not funny. And you're right about J.D. Vance, man. He just flat out lied. I mean, the last 30-year history of political violence in this country, the vast majority of it is right-wing. It always has been. And they put out this lie that it's only on the left. It's not even, Roland, a both sides problem between the left and the right. There is political violence on the left, but the vast majority is on the right, and they know that, and they're lying because they're trying to inflame their base. And Roland, I hear from their base every day, and let me tell you something, they are inflamed. I mean, they are ready to march and grab their you-know-what. This is a scary time.
It is, and folks need to understand what is certainly at stake. Joe Walsh, I appreciate you joining us on the show.
history of the cross, known by their works. What's the history of the cross? Behind the history of the cross: murder, rape, destruction, deception, enslavement, burning, terrorizing. To maintain a slavery system, you must terrorize the people 24/7. They terrorize people from Africa and America for 400 years. Constant terror, 24/7, rape, murder. In the name of Jesus. This was Christians, not Buddhists, not Hindus. Christians, in the name of Jesus. They said Jesus cursed black people. They call them Ham, cursed them to be slaves and persecuted forever. In the name of Jesus, raped our women incessantly, pissed in our mouths, made us eat shit. And they took and tried to clean up, I get, well, not clean up, but make it look more attractive, I guess, by calling it chitlins. It's after slavery, of course, after so-called slavery. Because what they do was not slavery. Look up slavery. Look up slavery. It does include murder, rape, terror. This is a Holocaust. And then now they try to downplay it. Oh, that was 40 years ago. No, it wasn't 40 years ago. I don't think it was a million years ago. It was 20 years ago. It lasted for 400 years. It's enduring today. They took everything away from the slaves. Everything. Their name, their culture, their families, their religion, their minds, everything. Fed their children to alligators as alligator bait. And then they talk about what's going on in Gaza, when they did 1,000 times worse. What's going on in Gaza now is simply just a miniature version of what they did. What they did was far worse than what's going on in Gaza. Gaza's bad. It's genocide. What they did was far worse and much longer. That's the legacy of Christianity. Murder, rape, disease. They wiped out the native population. The genocide and disease. Smallpox blankets. Knowing there was full of disease. Herpes, syphilis, gonorrhea from seabird animals. So-called common cold was not common. Didn't exist here on this side of the world until they brought it here. Murder, rape. When it was raping out women, there was a cross hanging from their neck. And again, they taught that there was God's will. God's will. Enslavement of our people. And they continue on even today. That's the legacy of Christianity, the cross. So where's your rap sheet? Every time they arrest our people, your rap sheet. What's your rap sheet? Are you going to judge people for murder when you're guilty of murder beyond imagination for hundreds of years? Hundreds of years. Yeah. He stole his land. He murdered his people. And you question the native people here. When the braves would go out hunting, you would come into the camps like cowards and kill the women and snatch the children's brains out on the hooves of your horses. This is the legacy of Christianity. That's the legacy of it. The question is, instead of Columbus coming here, Dracula came here, Beelzebub, Wolfman, Frankenstein, Satan, they all came to Columbus. What could they have done that Columbus and those that followed him did? Satan is the God of this world. That's the God they serve. They have known by their works. What are the works of Christianity? What are the works of Christianity? What are the works of Christianity? Evil, deception, mischief, bloodshedding. It goes on today. What's going on in Gaza is just a reflection and microcosm of what was done here in America for hundreds of years. They got women incessantly. They would even rape while they was out in the fields picking cotton. They would jump off their horse and tell them to bend over and rape them. They told them to keep picking cotton while they was doing it. This is the kind of stuff they would do. Make one slave defecate and slave and sit and slave in the mouth of another slave, and then bound it up so they couldn't spit it out for 7 days. That's a legacy of slavery. You did it all in the name of Jesus. There's a legacy of slavery. Legacy of slavery. 40 years plus. Legacy of Christianity. Legacy of the cross. That's the legacy. That's the true legacy. So who's working those? Who are you serving? Who are you serving? Legacy of the cross. What's your rap sheet? America? Gog? What's your rap sheet? Magog? Britain? What's your mention? What's your rap sheet? Antichrist, false Israel. What's your rap sheet? Then they colonized Africa. They steal the ribbons off everyone. It's the legacy of Christianity. It's been ruling for over 500 years. And now, the threat of nuclear war. They finish off everything. That's a legacy of Christianity in the name of your Jesus.
How's we gonna make it? Surely you ain't talking about us packing our bags and going westward or going out there in the land. Ain't no cities, no towns, no infrastructure out there. Surely you ain't talking about that, are you? We ain't going back to Africa. No. Our sweat, our tears, our blood has earned us the right to the land. What God wants you to do is come out of their way. Come out of their pagan holiday. When you should be honoring Jesus, you are buying bunny rackets. And inviting your children to pay eggs for some Easter. Come out of her. Get the Santa Claus of your house and a tree that is the way of the pagans. Come out of her. St. Valentine's Day. What the heck is that? Excuse me. Of her name, come out of her religion, come out of her culture, come out of her way of life, come out of her educational system.
People. And they will put all the shows of Lord. And they should. Jesus, none of the homes. They stood and said, it is a parent. And the whole wisdom. I wanted to return. With their hands stretched out towards that ship, and tiding chains themselves bound together. And when they must put off on this memorable shows, they took their stand. That ship that brought them to our strange and these strange people who could not speak either one's language. Now they have to live in a strange country and strange people who have proven to them every vow of their native land that they love. Going to be the West Indians that they ever lived with. They were going to be the people that were destroyed. They soon discovered that all mischief that they were being brought here. I don't know how we should say anything in the name of Jesus of good for us. When this gift was made of Jesus, this is how that we have always been deceived by the witness. Trying to use Jesus, the name Jesus, to our a mental sleep, thinking that we all are waiting. This is church. My brothers and sisters, this is very hard for us to people to accept today. Imagine our parents standing in front to return to that native land and people and you yesterday. Trying to save the very minute that brought in subjection to that will. You know, turning away from your ordinary plan and turning it back towards our Christmas house and our and it who have destroyed us and seeks to destroy us. How do you feel? How do you feel? Not wanting to return to your feet. They're trying to make love with the very people that destroyed you in your past. Do you feel? I do so. And even today, they are beating and shooting you down throughout the country. There's no justice here for you and me. Why did not you want to be separated and be returned to your push? Take over your parents on the eastern shore of North America, crying and praying to God to be returned to that arms 400 years ago. Now, you like to see them rise up in the judgment, condemned for being such fools. And now, to live in the land that absolutely enslaved them and killed them and beat them for 300 long years here. They would condemn you as fools. When I walked in, he separated them go to your arm, salvation for your son. The white man said he will remember that.
we gonna make it? Sure, you ain't talking about us packing our bags and going westward or going out there in the land. Ain't no cities, no towns, no infrastructure out there. Sure, you ain't talking about. No. We ain't going back to Africa. No. This is your land. Our sweat, our tears, our blood has earned us the right to the land. What God wants you to do is come out of their way. Come out of their pagan holidays. When you should be honoring Jesus, you are buying bunny rackets and inviting your children to paint eggs for some Easter. Come out of it. Get the Santa Claus of your house and trees. That is the way of the pagans. Come out of St. Valentine's Day. Is that? Excuse me. Come out of a name. Come out of a religion. Come out of a culture. Come out of a way of life. Come out of an educational system.
People. And they will put all the shows of Lord. And they should. Jesus, none of all things. No power and skill. They stood and said, it is a parent. And behold, wisdom. I wanted to return. With that hand stretched out towards that ship, and tidings showed themselves bound together. And when they was put all on this memorable shows, they stood there staring at that ship that brought them to a strange land and these strange people who could not speak either one's language. Now they have to live in a strange country. Strange people who had given to them every bow from their native land that they were going to be west Indians that they ever lived with. They were going to be the people that were destroyed. They soon discovered that all this ship that they were being brought here. I don't know how we should say anything in the name of Jesus of good for us. But this was named Jesus. This is how that we have always been deceived by the name Jesus. The name Jesus to our in a mental state, thinking that we all have to leave it. This is earth. My brothers and sisters, this is very hard for us to people to sit today. Imagine our parents standing in front to return to that native land and people and you here today. Crying to see the very minute that in subjection to that will. You will turn away from your ordinary life and turn it back towards harmony, critical and harmony. And it who has destroyed us and seeks to destroy us. How do you feel? How do you feel? Not wanting to return to your people. They're trying to make love with the best people that destroy you and your parents. Do you feel? Active. And even today, there are beating and shooting you down throughout the country. There's no justice here for you and me. Why did you not do what to be separated and be returned to your they go for your parents on the eastern shore of North crying and praying to God to be returned to their arms 400 years ago. You like to see them rise up in the judgment, condemned for being such fools. And now, what to live in the land that absolutely enslaved them and killed them and beat them for 300 long years here. They would condemn you as fools. When I walked in, he separated them both to your arm and application for your son. The white man said he opened. Remember that.
Assalamu alaikum, sisters and brothers. Someone Rahim here, Professional Covenant. Okay, brothers and sisters, it's been a year now. And Found him home after 40 years in Arabia. I'm reporting to you from Arabia. Found him home after 40 years. So it's been a year now. There was an agreement made for slave master. He said, your choice. Stay here or leave. Right? So we chose our inheritance. Arabia. So we left. Half the original people decided they wanted to give up the inheritance and traded for a place in America. Reconciliation with their former slave master. It's their choice. They chose, we don't want to go over to Arabia. We don't go over there sand and all that stuff. We want to stay in America. We've been here all our lives, been here 40 years, born here, right? And we can make peace with a slave master. Okay, so they decided to stay. And so after a year, right, we get reports of how things are going over there. And that sounds too good. How things are going over in America with their reparations. Because they was given 6 states, I believe. Yeah, see? Yeah. They got those 6 states right there. That's what Farrakhan told them. They was following this in Farrakhan. Farrakhan promised them, they stay there, 6 states, right? Their own land. And they can make reconciliation with former slave master. They're not devils, but human beings. They just had a rough, they were just, did some things wrong, but now they're gonna make amends and make reparations. So 6 states, and in addition to that, they gave everybody $1 million. Everybody paid $1 million. Thank you, Farrakhan. They're so happy. Thank you, Farrakhan. Thank you, Farrakhan. And you got 6 states. That's your promise us. We got 6 states. Thank you. Thank you, Farrakhan. I mean, this was a year ago. 6 states. Thank you, Farrakhan. Right? Everybody got $1 million. Everybody $1 million. They're rejoicing. Oh, man, they're so happy. We made it. We got America, man. We got reconciliation for a master. We got 6 states. Everybody got $1 million. We're all rich. That was a year ago. We left. So we're in Arabia. They're still back in America. And now we're getting reports a year later. This was the way it was a year ago, man. They were so happy. They were so happy. And now we get reports of what's going on right now. Let's see. Oops, it says a power failure. Great power failure in those 6 states. Power failure. And it's just those 6 states. So, and now they were big and massive. They came asking to turn the power. Why can't they do it? Oh, Farrakhan didn't train anybody. He was telling about 6 states and never paid you for them. So nobody knows how to do it. How to turn the power grid back on. So these big man massive, can you come out and turn this thing back on for us? I mean, you would think that if he told them 6 days of promising that we would have prepared them for, right? Their schools and education, whatever they needed. But I guess they didn't, because they said, oh, we're not even begging the former master to come and turn the power back on. Then what? This is what's happening now. I mean, I'm getting these imports in now. A year later. It's like they're coming in every hour. Power grid failure, right? It's a roof, crop failure. All of a sudden, there's no. They looked at the farmers when they're going to farm said, oh. So then they had massive, what's happening here? How come no? Not crop. It turned out that the rain they gave them wasn't that fertile. A year later, how's it going? Crop failure. And now so what's going to happen here? Right? And then, I mean, all these things, every hour that's coming in, right? And then they look here and they had, a year ago, they had plenty of food on the shelves, right? Now, they look there now and all the food's gone. They're gone. And she said, what am I going to do here? Food's gone. The house is empty. So I said, Master, we need some food. Well, how come you can't produce your own food? I mean, you want your own country, you got your own states, that's your country, then you run it. What are you calling us for? So they're praying. And then, oops, no fuel. But there's no fuel there. Well, you got to buy your fuel. You got to produce your own fuel. What you calling us for? You got your own 6 states now. What you calling us for? Go and get some fuel. You got money. Right? You got your own states. So you got to get your own. What you calling us for? You said you wanted your own, so now you got it. You got your reparations, so we don't owe you anything anymore. We don't owe you anything anymore, so what you calling us for? We don't owe you anything. You said you agreed to 6 states and $1 million per person. You took that instead of the inheritance, what you call the Abrahamic covenant, Arabia. Your brothers and sisters, they left, they took that was all for them, they took it. And you said, no, I want this instead. So now you got it. So what you calling us for? Oh, no communications. Oh, man. No communications, right? No medical facilities. So what's going on? And I said, wait a minute, hold on a year. What's you calling us for? That's you. You got to handle that stuff. You want us to handle it for you? You want independence, now you have it. I mean, wow, this stuff's coming every hour, man. Instead of like a year, they were celebrating. And now they're crying, begging the master of God. We've got all these problems here. I said, wait a minute, that's your supposed to come about your problems. You have to work those out. No transportation, I mean, no planes on nowhere. By fly a plane and drive trucks and boats and stuff, and you go and get this stuff. What you done this for? You wanted this, you got it. So go ahead and get to train your own pilots, build your own planes, build your own boats, and right? You see what I'm saying? Transportation, build your own trucks. What you got for? The master, you said you wanted 6 states, you got it. You want $1 million per person. That was the reparations. So that if you never pay people to take care of this, how's that our problem? You're independent now. You're really free now. Oops, no fuel, the gas station's empty. I can't drive, eh? No gas. Yes, wow. All this stuff happened like for a year. Everything was great, and all of a sudden everything ran out. So guess what happened? Everything was good when they got it, and it ran out. They had to replace it, the fuel, the farms going. So it was left with that stuff. the factory was full, house full, then you have to keep, they thought that was just going, I guess they thought it was just going to be there, just by itself. They didn't prepare for it. See? And they ain't trained any engineers and scientists and architects and stuff. They didn't train anybody. So how can I say? He told you he don't get this for you, but he don't pay you for it. He didn't get anybody to handle this stuff. So what was that all about? So I said, Master, I said, you don't call on me. You was here, you had it when you was here with me. You said you want independence, you want to have reparations, so you gave it to you. Well, calling your brothers over there, they left, they handled their own business. You said you want to stay here. Right? Don't have any professionals or technicians, scientists, doctors, none of that. See? I mean, that's what, because I mean, if you're going to set reparation, you should be paying for that, right? So if he was telling you about reparation, you should be paying for it. If he said, God said that's where he's going to get you, so God told him he's going to get that for you, then he should, like when God told Noah there was a flood coming, told him to build an ark, he started building an ark. And so you should start preparing for the 6 states, and the reparations, apparently you didn't. So now, it tells you, look, hold it. We want total separation. I mean, look, we don't want you to call us no more. We don't want you to call us no more. Because you're wearing us. You want your own country. You got your own land. Right? You got money, $1 million, you got all this stuff, right? So now we got to protect your money and everything too? No, you have to create your own money. You have to do all this thing, your own wealth, not ours. Right? So we're going to cut you off from that too. That's all economics. So they're going to tell all the people, all the white folks, right? Because all the black folks, all the black folks is either in Arabia or in those 6 states. That's the solution. It'd be one way or the other. There could be no integration, that kind of stuff. That's the deal. You said one or the other. So all the black folks are here, ain't no integration, that kind of stuff. Right? Was it one or the other? So they're there. So they said, okay, right? So they just said, we're going to take that money because we don't know what y'all doing over here. You have your own money, you have for your own wealth. So they do this. They tell all the white folks, say, protect your money. Right? Transfer your money into gold. Transfer all your dollars into gold. Now remember, they gave everybody $1 million apiece. So everybody got $1 million apiece, right? They transfer it to gold. And then what happens is what they do is they start just printing money. White folks just start printing money. You understand what that means? It's inflation. Because if you got $1 million of gold, $1 million ounces of gold, say $1 million ounces of gold, understand this, and you got 1 million certificates, then you say each certificate is worth 1 ounce. If you got 1 million ounce, each certificate is worth 1 ounce. Understand that? If you got 1 million ounces of gold, and you got 1 million certificates, each one of those certificates is worth 1 million. If you're going to say trade with the certificates, each one of the certificates is worth 1 ounce of gold. But if you take and print, say you got 1 million ounces of gold, and you got 1 million certificates. Each one, but say you print twice as many certificates, you got 2 million. Well, then each certificate is only worth 50 cents now. But you got to connect that to the gold. You print 4 times, then each one is worth a quarter. So the more you print, the less they worth, because those certificates have to equal what the gold is. See, so the more you print money, the less, right? The less they're worth. So if you print twice as much money, right, then less gold. You understand? So $1 is worth 1 ounce of gold. That's right. Then if you print double that amount of dollars, then each one's worth half an ounce. You understand? That's printing money without increasing their wealth does. That's inflation. So what happens is they keep printing. They get down to where $100 is worth a penny. See, that doesn't affect their people. They try to protect their money because they transfer their money to gold. So gold still has its value. It's just the dollars don't. It's still got the same amount of gold. But the dollars, they get down to a penny. So you can't buy it. You had $1 million, now $1 million worth of $5. That's all it's worth. Pay $1. Hardly worth anything. Otherwise, budget, hey, that's our money. You gotta have your money, you control your wealth. You can't keep coming at us what you're doing. And you think they will do that? You've been a gossip lately? You see what happened to the trees they made, the so-called natives kept telling me at fault time because they kept making trees with them, then they broke the trees. They took their land and genocide everything else. But no, they wouldn't do that to you. See? Because now you have, your money's worth nothing. They haven't lost anything. Because once that money's worthless, it's no good, right? Then you burn it up, it's all it was, it's worth nothing. People still got gold, and even if they take it, hold on, the money hopefully increase again, they use another certificate, use another form of money. So it's still worth nothing. The $1 million you had, you was unhappy with now, it's probably worth maybe $1. So you can't buy anything $1. Plus the economy's crap because everything is selling and you don't know how to repair it. You don't have to communications, you don't have to do any of this stuff. Engineer, but how should I do anything? Because it's our company. Right? He didn't know how to prepare you. He told you to give 6 days. He told you, this many. Right? Now, you're broke. The economy's gone. Yeah, no food, no electricity, no power, anything. It's not their fault. They gave you what you asked for. You saw out your inheritance for that. And then they closed the border. Because you're going to try to get back into America now. We want to come back in, Master. No, we don't want you back in here. We sorry, we want to come in. No. As you chose, you stay there. They closed the border so you can't get back in here. You get back into what you call your land now, Swaziland or something? Farrakhan. Maybe you call it Farrakhan. Farrakhan. You got the Farrakhan. Right? So they close the borders, you can't. Because now you're hungry and everything else, your money's worthless. Oh God, I come back, man. I come back, work for you, I work for Popeyes, I do anything you want. No, either they were in Arabia or they in that land. There are no blacks in America, any places, just in that land, and those that you 6 days. And then you're starving, you ain't got no, your money's worthless, nothing works, and they close the border. And then you see Anthony on the phone, he talks to the guy, you get paid to help you. You finally got rid of niggas. Finally got rid of them. Finally got rid of them. So you see on the phone, yeah, it worked. We saw them in Revelation, we saw them that said used car. They turned the miles back and everything else, and they bought it. See? They could have had a BMW, they could have had a Lamborghini, they sold it for BMW. Good, damn thing didn't work. Now, it's starving. Living in tents. Praying. So what? What we gonna do, Farrakhan? What we gonna do, Farrakhan? You told us to take reparations, so we did, but they gave us everything we asked for. What are we going to do, Farrakhan? What are we going to do? Pray, 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 pray.
That's his answer. Pray, pray, pray. That's your reparations. Like Elijah Muhammad said, in a big picture. Leave him, the black staying on the shore, the one stay behind, the devil's whooping their ass. But they thought you think they would give you some land to take care of you? You think they wouldn't do that? They go bankrupt, give everybody $1 million, you know what that is? It was 17 million, that was 17 million times, 17 million times a million is like $17 trillion, I think, something like that. What are they going to do anything for you? They want to get rid of you. So now they have to see it. Because they close the border, what you going to do? When you want to fight, they come out. They close the border. They got the military around there. They finally got rid of you. No more black problem, no more Negro problem anymore. Who's out of here? And those groups that's here, they're gone. And I have to clean. And gave what they wanted. Or anything. Honest contracts. Remember he had a contract with Jacob. He sold his birthright for a bowl of soup to Jacob. It was Esau's inheritance. And God honored it. Okay, Jacob, it's yours. You're the one. And that's the deal. Because he ain't your friend. Pharaoh ain't your friend. Pray, pray, pray. That's the answer. This homeland you was promised, you never rejected it. So now you got what you asked for. So they gave you reparations today or tomorrow. How would that scenario not play out like that? What? It's okay, you got it. Tell me how that scenario wouldn't play out like that. And tell me why they wouldn't do it. They love you so much, they can say, okay, we're going to take care of them. And I said, why did they take care of you when he was right here? He was working at Popeyes and then they get up on Section 8, all that stuff right here. Because you know they're trying to get rid of stuff right now. Trump's trying to get all that stuff right now. Because they're closing on you don't realize it. Anyway, that's just, that's what's happening in America. Of course, coming here. It's a disaster over there. I just got a call. Really? You serious? Our ambassador just got a call from I don't know what they call it, Thailand or something. I forgot what it's something called right there. That 16? They begged us to come and help. Can they come over here? Can we come and get them? Really? Can we come and get them? Bring them? Oh, no. And he even asked, Master Fard Muhammad, right? He said, no, hell no. We ain't going to get them. I agree with that. Yeah, the bastard said he's called him and he passed the word to Master Muhammad. Master Muhammad said, send him back. Listen, we can't come and get you. You chose, you made your choice, live with it. Or die, whatever the situation is. Wow. I can't do that. They actually sent a message over. Well, they did, I have a communication, but somehow they got the information over to him. Said, would we please come and get him? Nope. No, tell them no. And don't waste time communicating with us anymore. You got your land, you got your reputation, you got your money, you got Farrakhan in here. Yeah, tell them, talk to them, let them straighten out for you. You want to sell your idea, you have to sell them. So you want an idea of reparations, we told you. Right? Suleiman Bay, he was the messenger to you, telling you, look man, let's go home. You said no, you chose not to. Okay, well, since that's a sad story. Guess that's it, is that it? Well, they're not getting more reports. Okay, he says that was Matthew Muhammad's final decision, and I think they closed communications off from there. So that's it, brothers and sisters. We got those guys that came in. All that came in today. I mean, I came in fast. After a whole year. Total collapse. They're begging it. Somebody help me. We can't do it. They're master help you. We won't do it. That's not what we do. Update, brothers and sisters, got another late report in. They said, well, if people couldn't get us food, we at least send some food. They begged them, please send some food. That's what I'm saying. I'm going to send a damn thing. Nothing. Zero. I said, please just send some food. This guy that in. He says, if you can't come and get it, please send some food. He says, no. Refuse. That's the report. I just got the information from the ambassador. He said that he's ready to meet. He says, no. He said, please, just please send some food. He said, no. Go no way. You made your choice. Case closed. Just got that in, bro. It's just, that's not like him.